Okay, so I got something here I'm going to share with you in a moment. So we're about to go into the next session this afternoon about power content. As Mike gave the tone just now, how have you enjoyed this morning so far?
Yeah, that's right.
Wait a minute. Mike, how have you enjoyed it this morning?
Woo!
Okay. You've always got to have a hype man. So are we live there? So just quick for reference, we're actually here in San Diego, a very small group of us for the high ticket selling system, Big Ticket Bootcamp. These are clients of ours from all around the world. Basically teaching them how we build a telefunnel. It's short for a telecommunication funnel. It's basically, I wish I could take all the success of the telefunnel, but in fact, my good business partner here, Mr. Adam Davies, he's the creator of the telefunnel. He actually I was the guinea pig, he actually built the original inside of my business, and he took my small coaching business to a multi-million-dollar a year coaching business, and now ranked one of the fastest, Inc. magazine says, one of the fastest growing private companies in North America 2 years running. Actually, last year we're 935th fastest growing private company. This year we're 903rd fastest growing private company. And it kind of sucks because we missed Inc. 500. So that's where we're aiming. So basically we're teaching everybody here how we're going from what we were doing and how we learned all of the mistakes from our mistakes, because you have to learn from mistakes, right? You can't get to be successful without failure. So we're explaining how we're now going to take our business that was making $250,000 a month, $250,000 to $400,000 a month, and how to get it to $1 million a month. And that's what we've been teaching this morning. And without all of the hype man stuff. Good stuff this morning?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, absolutely. Love it.
Absolutely.
Good. We have people in this room. Some people are clients of ours. Just quickly going, just to start with this gentleman up here. This gentleman, he started with us. He was making like $10,000 a month. Last month you did 160,000. Now what we're training him on is very different to what we're training Patty on, or we're training Scott on, or others. For instance, just by here, with Tammy and LaDonna, Tammy was struggling, selling stuff at 1-to-1 at a low price, and she thought she had to do 1-to-1 at a low price, almost 10 times the price, and now selling multiple packages, selling lots of packages.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we're going to train something very different. We're going to be teaching Mikhail something about scale, but these ladies about sales. And so it's a 3-day event, and and everybody here's got their successful businesses, but we're going to take them up. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're definitely going to, and I apologize to these camera guys if I'm walking around so much, but I'm sure you're capturing it. I have 147 pages to get through this afternoon. I'm going to try, or we're going to try our best. We actually have, obviously you have printouts, and I think you have it in 21 pages. And you're going to actually see, we're going to give you a highlight, but we've got all of the notes. We have everything in here, what we did. And what we will do is we will actually be turning the cameras off when we go through this, because this is the stuff here that we don't want anybody to know, because this is the stuff that only our clients are going to know. This is the stuff that we're scaling the business. Like that 147 pages is the gold. That's like that's the secrets right there. But before that, I definitely want to share some great secrets and some insights, where we got to this, and quick story. And Mike, I want to bring Mike in, so Mike can maybe take a seat.
Just grab a mic for Mike.
Yeah, let's grab a mic for Mike. This is my hype man, Mike. He's my margarita drinking partner. We do drink a good margarita together, right?
Yeah. It's a mic for Mike.
There's a mic for Mike. So as we explained the story, earlier about Burn the Boats. This is the gentleman who actually told us the story of Burn the Boats, about Cortez, and our business was, we were doing, when Mike come to join us we actually paid him a 5-figure check every month. We flew him out to the United Kingdom.
How much?
I know. Paid him a 5-figure check every month, and he was actually there with us then. And he was actually working on certain parts of the business. So our business was growing. We were building this business. And I guess we were doing 200, 300,000 a month kind of when you were working with us. 400 one month you were there? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the month after you arrived, we did 400,000. Yeah. So,
thanks, Mike.
So thank you, Mike. However, by the time of maybe, it was October, so it was a year ago to this month, we went to a shisha lounge or a hookah lounge. We were eating some Lebanese food, and we were smoking some hookah or shisha, or however you may call it or name it. How's it going, gentlemen? And we were actually there, and then we were talking about how we were capped in this market. We couldn't get past the number. And as you imagine, as entrepreneurs, we were very much interested in scaling. We're very much driven entrepreneurs, and we knew that we had made so many failures that we needed to, readjust the business to grow. And then Mike tells us a story that changed everything for us. So maybe Mike, if you want to speak to the mic and tell us the story of Burn the Boats.
So really, it's a story about commitment. And
Pick it up.
pick it up.
Oh, cool.
Okay, perfect.
12
so
inches.
yeah, really, it's just
Everybody is good with 12 inches.
yeah. So really, it's a story about
That's what they-
commitment.
that's
you
what
know,
they-
obviously, you guys all made a commitment to be here. So it was in 1519, right? I'm just pulling up some notes here because I don't know all of it off the top of my head. But like for years, the Spanish have been trying to conquer Mexico and they couldn't do it. And then in 1519, what happened? Oh, we got the 12 inches, right? There you go.
This is my 12 inches.
So basically what happened was Cortez came with 600 men, and he basically said to his guys, like, they didn't, bigger armies had tried, and basically they didn't succeed. He came with 600 men and said, listen, boys, we're taking over this whole continent of Mexico, and how we're going to do it is look at those boats back there, we're going to burn it, so you guys aren't going home. We're either going to die, or we're going to take over the country. So with 600 men, they took over basically all of Mexico and were able to colonize it or whatever. So that was the story I told, and
So
they got inspired by it.
So and
You burnt the boats.
So yeah.
So what the Cortez realized is as they were traveling to Mexico, they realized that all of his army were getting scared because nobody had ever conquered the country before and never taken the gold, and this has gone on for hundreds of years, right? So there's such a long time that everybody was starting to lose faith, and as they got off, he had to give his speech to drive his troops, and he realized that they were going to die. Everybody was going to die. And they had three options at that point. Option number one was take the gold. Option number two was die, or option three was retreat. So Cortez said, burn the boats, and that meant there was only two options. You die or you fight for your life. Well, nobody wanted to die, and they now fought for their life. So again, it's a story of commitment. There's no other option. When he told us his story, and he must have had the story a bit more fresher, but when he told me and Adam the story, we literally sat there and we looked at each other, we shook hands,
Just like that.
and we said, let's burn the boats. And it was literally like that. And we said, let's do it. And the business was in its height. We were making, every quarter, $1 million. This is a very healthy business, very great profits. We were doing incredible amounts of money and incredible amounts of profits, cutting our own checks, me and Adam. And like I've already told you this morning, so much freedom, it was incredible. And then we basically, 2 days after that, my visa arrived, and I was able to move to San Diego. And 2 days after, but we'd already made the commitment, and we said, let's burn the boats, and we started
We
chopping.
looked for the boats for 6 months, and they were charcoal. They were gone. So
Yeah, we
retreat.
Yeah, and we put those puppies down, and here we are, and we're rebuilding. As we showed you this morning, what's great about how we're restructuring is, Adam basically used my business as so Adam was a consultant for years to my business. I was his only client, and he basically come into my business, and he was getting incredible checks. So he didn't want to tell anybody because he was at a percentage of profits. We didn't want to tell anybody what we were doing. So we kept it very secret on the internet what we were doing. Nobody knew what we were doing. We had this whole operation, and we didn't speak about it to anybody because why would we? Why would we give the secrets away of making multiple millions a year? So when we heard this burn the boats, and we made a decision to go forward and actually teach what we're doing and go to, we knew that if we started teaching this, we could actually grow, because when you share, you can actually grow, right? When you hold things back, we'd already hit our peak. We were already capped out in the market, hundreds of thousands of customers. There wasn't that much more that we could take. We'd already capped out, which is a great problem, but still a freaking problem, right? So we made that decision, and then Adam basically, obviously, created the telefunnel, and you saw the original today, which is pretty cool, huh? Very simple model.
Got the model behind you there.
Oh, you got it behind me, okay. Very simple model. And we talked them through it this morning, and even though this is like very basic, we went through it advanced today, and I think, there's going to be some incredible success coming from this room, from this. Anyway, with that said,
Well, what I want to go through first, guys, before we dive into this, so just to kind of recap on this morning, obviously you all should now have your high ticket offers. At least some of you got them really dialed in. Some of you are obviously making a lot of sales of them. Some of you obviously have made some edits based on this morning. So now you have the offer. What you need to create is essentially marketing to pre-frame what's the offer going to be. So when they hear the offer, they're going to understand the value and they're going to really want to buy into it. Because especially with an intangible offer like high ticket coaching, you've got to make sure that the value's there and they understand the steps. Because if someone doesn't understand the steps you're going to take them through to get the results, then they're not going to give you, $10,000 to buy into your program. In fact, Mike, actually, will you explain the golf ball analogy to them?
Yeah, sure. So basically, marketing and sales are two different channels. So a lot of to make a sale, it's all conversion, right? To make the exchange of money, they need to see the value, and the exchange needs to happen, right? So you have something, they have money, you make the exchange. So to make the exchange happen, you have two ways to make it happen: marketing and sales. So they're two different channels, which is what a lot of people don't talk about. So basically, the definition that I like to use of marketing is Peter Drucker's definition, which is the purpose of marketing is to make sales superfluous, right? Which means to make sales non-existent. So the best way to think about it is, let me just a piece of paper.
Want a fresh piece?
Yeah, give me a fresh piece.
There you go. Let's get that off.
So I'm gonna draw a line, right? This would be like the exchange point. That's when they give you the money. So, right, there's certain things that have to happen for them to, believe in the offer. They need to believe certain things. Like there's objections that they're going to have. They need to trust you. They need to see the value in it. There needs to be the desire, right? So, to make that exchange point, you can do it with purely sales. Like Jordan Belfort, you guys have all seen The Wolf of Wall Street, right? He's basically cold calling, and he proved that with just pure sales, cold calling, you can make that exchange happen, obviously. Now, you can do it with pure marketing too, and that's like you're never talking to anyone. The marketing can drive the entire sales. But now to make high-ticket sales, the best way is what you want to do is you want to think of it almost like a golf ball, like a par 3, right? So the better your marketing is on the par 3 chip shot onto the green, the kind of the worse you could be at sales, right? If your marketing is really good, you're going to get it right next to that hole. So this is like, say this is the green, right? And this is not a great draw, right? So let's say your marketing is awful, right? You have no marketing, right? You can still make the high ticket sale, right? Let's say it goes here and it lands there. But the problem is now is you need to do a lot of objection handling on the phone, and obviously Adam can train you on that, but it's a tough sale. They don't trust you. They might not have the context. The lead's just on Facebook. You can still make it work, but it's a very tough process to make work and very tough to make it scale, right? What you want to do instead is what we've done in that webinar there, and what they've done and probably teaching you guys earlier today is you want to have the marketing do most of the heavy lifting. Therefore, that chip shot lands right next to the hole. So then basically, you're order taking on the phone call. So you want to have the marketing take care of the objections. You want to have the marketing, basically teach your process. You want to have the marketing build the, to deliver value in advance in their marketing to build that desire. So the more of the heavy lifting you can do with the marketing, the easier the sales will be. And that's basically the golf ball analogy. So I call it the conversion golf ball. So it's like, where is that conversion golf ball in your sales process now? And what can you do to improve your marketing so that now that conversion golf ball for all of your sales calls are closer to that hole? And that's basically it.
It's fantastic. It is. Because, we understood the idea, but then the actual analogy of the golf ball just made it sick. Get it? So Mike, did you invent that? Or did you?
I've heard it before as well.
No, it was taken from several people.
Yeah. I've heard it before as well.
Yeah.
But so what we was talking about this morning, we actually talk about it in the webinar as well. You'll actually see how we use this analogy in our marketing to educate our market. Because obviously we teach sales and marketing, right? So we actually talked about this morning, But can you see now, just going back quickly, how I was saying about how sales, like, because everybody says marketing makes selling superfluous or marketing drives sales. However, we were teaching this morning how sales drives marketing, which we don't hear anybody else talk about. And how the phone, use the phone and learn from the phone, and then you actually evolve your marketing. So if your first round, because what's amazing about business, the business we're in, you're gonna have numbers, okay? And they're consistent. So if your best drive is to here, right? You're just going to be consistent there, and as the business runs and optimizes, that's where you kind of go, And you can maybe become a little bit better, but you stay in this kind of ballpark. You with me? But as you start to listen on the phone, and you start to take those objections you keep hearing, and you adapt your marketing, and you use the selling. Like I was saying earlier to these, when Adam comes off the phone and he doesn't make a sale, he's more happy than when he makes a sale.
Which hardly ever happens.
Yes, but it does happen. But he's more excited. You with me?
Exactly.
And he's more excited because he really realizes that he can take that knowledge from the phone and actually use it now, feed it to me in our marketing. And then what starts to happen is we better our marketing and we start to move. And our line starts moving. Now, obviously, this is not where you want to be, but, you want to be here, 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 to the point where, and this is the point where, we're getting to again, and, we were there, where we were able to hand all of this off, and basically me and Adam would be able to step away from the business and have other people run the business for us, running the marketing department, running the sales department, because we systematized everything.
Yeah. Plus what Adam did, which was brilliant in the last business, was he had the marketing took care, well, both of you guys did. So the marketing took care of the business. So took care of this so much that they were literally able to hire, non-salespeople to read a script. And then that's how the scale became so easily, because you have guys that aren't, like if you're getting the ball here, you need to find highly skilled sales guys that know what they're talking about so that they can handle the objections. When the marketing gets it there, you could then post on Craigslist. I don't even know how you got some of the guys, but I hope they're not watching, but I love you all. But yeah, you could hire, less skilled salespeople and knock it in. So there you go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything on top of that, Adam?
Yeah, I guess what I think we should show you now, right, is how to get the ball right there.
Yes.
Would you like to know that? Yeah?
And what, just as we dive into that, what's interesting is we spent, again, we hired Mike to come in with us for a few days last month. Me and Adam, what's really good is Michael Masterson from Ready, Fire, Aim told us, he gave us a consultation, and he told us he's built these $100 million companies. And he gave us a consultation, and it was me, Adam, and Michael on the phone. And he said to us, you should always be he actually says in Ready, Fire, Aim anyway, but he says you should always be brainstorming in a group of 3 or more, never less than 3. We have to imagine it's always just me and Adam. Now, Mike's one of the smartest guys you're going to ever meet when it comes to marketing and sales and all of this whole business. This is one of the smartest guys you're ever going to meet. He's just the most studied guy in the whole industry. I've never met anybody like him on this stuff. Seriously, he's so studied. So we brought him in. He came to the condo with us, and we spent, I don't know, a week, was it? 2, 3, 4, 5 days? I don't know. Had a girlfriend fly in to meet you, so maybe he was gone with some girlfriend for a few days, or his future wife, I should say. But yeah, so we had Mike come in, and we basically built what we're about to share with you. Then me and Adam spent the next, 3 weeks, just me and you. We conceptualized some ideas like we were speaking about this morning. Spent the next 3 weeks building it. We launched it 16 days ago. And what's your thoughts on it so far, from what you're hearing?
I think it's working great.
Yeah, so we're about to show you, we'll turn off the cameras, we'll actually tell you some of the numbers we're actually seeing, how we're actually seeing them, and we're actually going to walk you through it. So has everybody got a printout of the slides?
Yep.
Okay, so let's...
Okay, we'll get them for you guys as well.
Okay.
Cool.
So
cut the live,
you've done it? You finished?
Cool.
Okay.
Is it published? No. No, just the live. We're on Facebook Live.
Yeah, we're just live.
You
Okay.
can relax now. How you doing?
How was it?
How you doing? How you doing, Mike?
Okay. Morning, gentlemen.
Was it okay?
That's okay.
We'll upload in
really?
HD.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Jesus.
Okay. If you leave it by there, by the window, bro, just thank you.
Okay. So, moving into...
Sorry, bro. Yeah, cool. So I guess before we dive into this, I want to just pre-frame how we kind of create our pieces. And it really comes from what we did earlier with this big steps to success. Because really it comes down to what you say in this presentation now needs to essentially, it's what they need to believe before they're going to pay you $10,000, right? So you essentially don't want to be doing the convincing on the phone, right? Because if you're having to teach them your system, what they need to be doing, the value in it, you're going to have basically a 3-hour phone call to close what you want to be closing, which I've done, by the way. You know, I've done 3.5, 4-hour phone calls even, because I've been basically giving mini presentations, overcoming every single objection, what they need to believe, checking they understand it, checking they've learned it, and they you know, taken in what I've said before I can make the offer. And that's just not very smart way to do it, right? So the idea is, obviously, in order to make high-ticket sales, you have to be on the phone, right? If you're going to sell from cold traffic onto a webinar, I think you're really limited. At the $2,000 price point, it starts getting extremely difficult to sell over $2,000 straight marketing, right? Because they're going to have questions. They need to know it's right for them, and it's, you know, a lot more the mindset comes in, and through testing and what we've done and what our peers have done, the 2,000 mark really is the limit really of scale. Even that is hard. Yeah, it's extremely hard.
And as well as that, though, you're leaving so much money on the table if you do leave it there. If you just do marketing and you push it to the 2,000 and say, I'm going to leave it all online, it's just such a, it's a bad move. It's a bad business move. It's, you know.
Absolutely. You know, if you're just selling on webinars, you're not taking them off on the phone, you are leaving serious amounts of money on the table, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why we use the webinar to pre-sell them to a point of application, get them on the phone, and then essentially the phone call is the putt. But what you want to be doing is making sure that that ball is as close to hole as possible. Now, like we said earlier, it's an iterative process. You're not going to get it by the hole the first webinar you ever do. It's just not, unless you're already in the market and you get really lucky. You know, you can be the biggest genius in the world. Honestly, it's like it's luck. Because without speaking to them and getting feedback, it's impossible to guess. You know, and the market will tell you what you need to say to get them there based upon, I don't believe that you're the real deal. I don't really understand the system. What about this? What about that? All the objections they're going to have to stop you putting, and you're going to be a very busy person on the phone trying to close them those deals. And that's what's going to happen in the early stages, just so you know. When you first launch your first funnel, you're going to be like that on the phone. But just take it as a learning thing. Don't get disheartened and think, oh my God, it's impossible. They're not buying. Oh my God, you know, I'm terrible at this. I quit. The funnel doesn't work. You're going to have these real hard objections, and it's the only way you're going to learn, you know?
And just, you know, on that note, you know, you have to think, imagine me and Adam have come from, you know, having a multi-million-dollar a year coaching business. We know this thing inside out. Like, we know it. Like, to take somebody from 0 to 10,000 a month, or somebody from 10,000 to 100,000 a month, it's very simple for us. We see it, here they are. However, we still had the same problem with the market, because the market, we weren't connecting with them. And we were still here. And Adam was like, he was doing these mini presentations all the time on the phone. And he was trying to teach them. He's like, well, they're not getting it. They're not getting that. They're not understanding it. They think they've heard it before. They think they know this. They have these objections. We're not, you know. And then he was building this database and feeding it to me. So we went through this for 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 3-4 months.
I'm going to sneeze.
Yeah. It was, and it's not, it's an educational process, but it's not a fun process, you know? It's like,
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah.
Well, I've learned to like it this time. I've learned to appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it this time, as I mentioned to you all this morning.
I like it when there's an all webinar working there by the hole. You have to jump on the phone sometime, you know? He likes it, he doesn't have to go on the phone. It's a process, you know, and if you like it, you're sick. But, you know, you're learning, right? You're learning. It is, you know, all jokes aside, you know, when you, Alex is right. I am more excited when I don't make a sale than I am when I make one, because I realize the mistakes in the marketing. But sometimes as well, when you don't make a sale, they're not a right fit. So it's like, okay, how can I get less of these people on the phone anyway? You know, so I'm always learning regardless. And even so, it's like, well, I wish I sold them. Sometimes I'm glad I didn't. And I don't even make an offer to some people, you know. I'm like, no.
But then you're also fixing your funnel too, because then your targeting's off. So if you're getting a lot of the wrong people on the phone, then it could be your targeting on Facebook. Or if like, it might be you're not repelling them, like the velvet rope in your business. Yeah, absolutely.
I just know what it'll be like afterwards. You know, for the camera.
No, it could be like you could also, if you're getting a certain type of people, then like in the end of the webinar, you can say, do not apply for this phone call if you are, you know, if you don't have a business, if you're not making a certain amount, if you're whatever kind of coach you guys are. That's also more learning that you can have, and then plug that back into the webinar to then make sure that those people don't come on to the phone call.
Absolutely. So basically, guys, really, before you kind of create this piece, it's really important you actually have the hook of like what the piece is going to be on. And what I mean by the hook is, it's like, what is the presentation about? What is the benefit to the people who are watching it? What are they going to get from it? What are they going to learn from it? And it's got to be enticing enough to actually get them on there. Now, when you actually create the piece, it's important to understand what that hook's going to be. However, I will say this, if the hook's quite generic initially on the webinar presentation, you can actually change the hook somewhat with a squeeze page, right? So going up to this point here, you can actually have power content of like, the webinar starts, hey, I'm going to teach you how to build a seven-figure business, seven-figure coaching business, right? And that's the hook. But we know that that isn't really a strong enough hook for the actual advertising and the squeeze page to really get people on, because it's samey. But what you can do then, you can actually adjust the squeeze page, you can adjust the hook, you can adjust the ads to as long as it still makes sense when they hit the page. It hasn't got to be exactly congruent. So you can make that one piece and test loads of different hooks before you actually build the piece. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right? So it hasn't, you can actually get away with testing 10 different hooks, but actually one webinar, as long as the hooks are in the webinar somewhere, okay? So for example, this webinar here, which we're actually going to go through with you step by step, each slide, why we said what we said, you know, why we do what we do with it, so you can actually see on a high level what's going on. You can actually model this stuff, okay, which is important. And you'll see in here that we teach, you know, how to get perfect leads, how to build a telefunnel, and how to make a perfect offer. So there's like 3 hooks for the squeeze pages. It can be like, you know, live training showing you how to generate perfect leads and make high ticket sales. One advert, one squeeze page to the same webinar. The next hook can be how to create, you know, a 7-figure super funnel to get, you know, 20 clients a month into your high ticket coaching program. There's another hook, another squeeze page, same webinar. Does that make sense? So you're feeding the same webinar with different hooks because the webinar contains those hooks, okay? Now that's why when we create this, and I'm not sure how other people do it, but that's how we do it, is we have like a general hook for the webinar, create the webinar, and then we pull hooks out for the squeeze page from that. Because as you develop the webinar, things appear. You're like, oh, that's cool. It's a creative process. And you're like, okay, we'll talk about perfect leads, and we'll talk about, oh, you know, how you can actually create a coaching program and sell 6 figures before creating it. Wow, didn't even think about that as a hook, because you're not building the webinar around that. But when you actually come and pull out the hooks, test the Facebook ads, a cool little trick you can do, right? And it's a little thing to actually see which hooks are working for you, which was taught by one of Alex's buddies, Lee McIntyre, a very smart guy, who built a very successful coaching business, now has a Facebook ad agency. He said, take like 10 hooks, right? Write 10 ads for the hook, and just take a segment of, you know, a target audience to show the hooks to. So say, for instance, for us, we take the target audience, fans of Frank Kern and Think and Grow Rich. That's a little target audience, right? Because we know people who read Think and Grow Rich, fans of Frank Kern, there's going to be our, you know, people who have a coaching business are going to be on there. People who, you know, develop themselves are going to be on there. So we have a little audience. Then what he said to do was take 10 hooks. You know, how to get to 7 figures in 12 months with a coaching business, how to drive the perfect leads into your coaching business, make high ticket sales, how to build a group coaching program and scale your business to 6 figures a month. All these different ads, $10 each ad, run it in turn to the same audience. Whichever one has the highest click-through rate, that's the hook you jump on. You run it for 24 hours. $10, 24 hours. Look at the click-through rate percentage. The highest one will give you an indication of what that audience is clicking and what's interesting to them. Now you have a hook that you can be sure that there's at least demand for it in some capacity over the others. Now, of course, it's not extremely scientific because over time, other hooks can beat the other hooks. Statistically, it's not completely correct, but what it'll do is it'll give you, at least you'll see if one of them just completely bombs, and it's like, okay, I mean, the click-through rate's like 0.05%. This ain't, we ain't running that one, and then you can just see where it goes. It gives you some indication before you go and scale, build a funnel around it, before you build a business around it, before you build a coaching program around it in some cases as well. It's a very good way to just test the market, dip your toe in the water, obviously make sure that your target audience is in that target Facebook advertising list as well, okay? Any questions? No? Cool. So I think what we need to do next really is get into this webinar and go through, unless you have anything else to add, Alex.
I'm just wondering, are you going to have me like spit this webinar, or are we going to? We haven't. Basically, we only made the decision not last night, the night before, to actually print this out and have the whole 147 pages that I read out into the presentation, word for word.
Basically, what we're trying to mirror here, guys, is like 3 weeks of work and like marketing knowledge going into this piece, and I want to show you why we had each word in there and why it's relevant.
So it's 20 years of marketing knowledge, 10 mine, 10 his.
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
Yeah,
Isn't it? 10 mine, 10 his.
It is.
Hundreds of books, millions made from our marketing already. And then we sat down and we said, you know what? We're going for the home run. We're not going to make a presentation. We're going for the best presentation. We wanted this to be the best in the game. We said, we'll put our heart and soul into this. And if it doesn't work, at least we tried. That was the aim. If it doesn't, and we lose a month, we lose all this money, we waste, we put it, we tried. The good news is, it works. We have a home run. So.
And how it was created was a quick funnel was put together, a quick presentation was put together, and I got on the phone with the market.
Yes.
And I listened to what they said, all their pains, and realized, and as I was trying to explain the offer, explain the concept to people, I was getting the objections. They were telling me, well, what about this, what about that? And then not only from their feedback, but me teaching it on the phone as well to the people, it kind of crystallized in my own mind. I started understanding a deeper level of what we were really offering by just explaining it. It's kind of like, I can't even think of the saying, it's like when the student, when the student arrives, the teacher appears, or something along those lines.
When the student's ready, the teacher appears.
There we go.
The salesman appears.
There we go.
Yeah. When the buyer's ready, the salesman appears. I like that.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it's just by speaking it and talking it and going on the phone and pitching it and explaining it, you are refining your marketing message. And that's how you're able to confidently, after I think it was 100 phone calls I did, I don't know, 80 phone calls, 100 phone calls, I was like, okay, I got this.
And just, for the guys who arrived a little late, this morning, we talked about, that we now have this is what we call power content. But before this, we knocked up something fast, and we drove ads to where, it wasn't the best, it wasn't giving us the best leads. Adam was on the phone, and, everybody says marketing drives sales, but also we realized the sales drives the marketing. So we got all of the objections, and Adam started to get this into here. And, even though it was a painful process, we still generated hundreds of thousands of dollars. You admit it's not like it was tough, it's still very healthy business. It just was very unleverageable. It was very time consuming. Adam's like, this is pathetic. I'm fucking doing a webinar on every phone call. But it was just a process we had to go through. And then it was time to say, okay, let's get to work on this. And then in September, we said, you know what? We're not doing anything apart from coming out the laboratory with a finished presentation, and we're going for a home run, and we're gonna really go for it. And you'll just see, you know, at the in the initial presentation, we kept it very open that anybody could apply. What you're going to notice in this is we're trying to push everybody away. It's like, no, you cannot join us. Go away. Shoot. Psh, don't want you. And then people start, because we hit all the objections before it, they're like, I want in. You know, it's like simple psychology. You know, if I chase my child runs away. If I stop and run away, what's my child doing? Chases me. You with me?
I actually think a really good exercise before we jump into this
Okay.
is I want you guys to just take sort of 5 minutes now and write down what they need to believe
Good thing.
before they're going to buy your high-end offer. And I want to just go around everyone after.
I would actually write, the question is, what do they need to believe about themselves, you, and the way the world works in order to buy your product? So what do they need to believe about you, themselves, and the way the world works in order for them to purchase the product?
And maybe to keep it a bit simpler, what they need to
That's
believe.
more advanced, but it's the simple one is what he said.
Yeah, just to keep it a bit simple, you know, forget how the world works, what they need to believe about themselves, because sometimes people don't believe in themselves. So you have to focus on their belief system. You have to reshape their belief system. You actually have to shatter their belief and then rebuild it. That's actually what we do in the presentation. We shatter their belief and then rebuild it with our belief system for them.
Or some people think that the world is very scarce, so that's like what I mean by the way the world works. So it's like if you need them to buy high-ticket products, it's like you want them to believe in abundance. You know, so it's like all that different kind of self-help stuff about how the world actually works. That's the tail end of that question.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's this is really the secret behind everything. This is like what you're leading them to, and when they first enter the squeeze page, you're literally starting that belief mechanism. You're literally laying the foundations of belief to the point of making the offer. And then what happens is if they go through the telefunnel, like you convert a percentage of them, and the ones that don't convert, you still have a list of people, remember, that then you just continue to market to and instilling the belief, the same beliefs. You keep instilling it until they get it. Keep proving it. More proof, more case studies.
What's interesting is, you know, once you go through this, this presentation, once you put somebody through a power content that works, it isn't like, hey, this is, you know, we've duped them. These people are like, wow, like they are so sold. And remember I said this morning, you know, people don't like to be sold. They like to sell themselves, or they like to buy. So by the time they get to the call with you, you don't have to do any selling. You know, they're selling themselves. Like they, you know, because you've reshaped their belief system. But you haven't done it in a way that's, you know, harmful, because that can happen, you know. You can use sales in a detrimental way. What we're doing is helping people. And sometimes people, there's a saying, you don't know what you don't know. So sometimes you have to re-educate somebody or shift their belief so they now know and now they want more of.
Cool. Anyone any questions while they're going through? Anyone stuck? No?
The ideas are flowing.
Huh?
Just the ideas are flowing, that's all.
Good.
On your, Facebook, and we're probably going to hit on this later, but on your Facebook ads, you say 10 ads, 10 hooks. Are you doing 10 different images, or so the ads are very different?
I believe that, again, we did this over lunch. It was a very quick part of the conversation. I believe you said the same image for all of them, because the image can have a massive difference. Just an image alone can have a huge difference. Right. So it's the message that those should be different. Also, you know, I don't know if he said rotate them all because of the time difference. You know, Facebook has its own algorithm that when you start putting targeting in, it will let you know when the audience is there and start to show to that audience at the right times. So if nobody's there and you're rotating and you're making sure you rotate, it may skip. And the best ad may not get seen and there's no click-through. So I believe, you know, there's a bit more to it. But this is how he's building out his clients' businesses. He told it, you know, over dinner. But the main thing for us is, you know, I guess the point to take away the most is, you know, we can now take this webinar and we can run, I would say, Adam could come off a phone call, go into his phone, go on WhatsApp, just speak to me, and I have the audio message. We have a Facebook group, and I can listen to it. I can knock up an ad, brand new ad, total different angle, and run an advert. Totally different message to the same presentation. It's just different messages. You with me? Yeah. It's like on the coaching calls. I'm listening to you on the coaching calls. Dave said something about fear. Now that fear drives procrastination, drives depression. Well, that there is an advert. If you're a coach and you got fear, this is where it's going to go. You're going to procrastinate. Have you noticed yourself procrastinating? Well, this is a slippery slope. It goes here. But if you want to go from there and actually, upward spiral, well, that's an advert that I would have never wrote prior to speaking with Dave.
Right.
Do you understand? But it's going to go to the same webinar. Then there's another one of, the perfect leads, And there's maybe 7 ads that we could write on leads, There's multiples on, telefunnel. I could write an advert about, like my whole thing now is I'm really excited because I was the coach, so I used to have to beat my chest. I was the sellable product for years. I was the product being sold. Now it's very cool that I have a system. We used to sell the AGIC, but I was still the quote-unquote guru. But now we have a system, the telefunnel, and I'm not the creator of the telefunnel. He is. So it's very cool for me now as a marketer. I have, it's like I can talk very highly of this gentleman, and you would all go, wow. But he can talk very highly of me, and you can all say, wow. If I speak about me, you're going to say, oh, what a jerk. You with me? If I start saying, I'm the fucking best, you're going to say, what a dick. But if he starts saying it, you're going to be looking at me like, wow, can I have an autograph? And we've done this many a time, He looks at me, says, okay, and he speaks about me in front of people, and they're like, oh my God.
I'm doing it for years.
Yeah, for years. And people want photos. They're lined up for photos with me, and, but I can't. If I said it, they'd be like, egotistical maniac.
Can I get your autograph and picture it before we? Okay.
But on the note, I can just on that, I can now start speaking about the telefunnel in adverts. I can start speaking about Adam, the creator of the telefunnel, and how I was the guinea pig of this telefunnel system and how it revolutionized my coaching business. It's a system now. It sounds tangible. It's exciting. I have all these different angles. Another one is the perfect offer. One coaching program generated $5.8 million, just one, before I built the second and the third one. Do you want to see how we do this? You with me? All goes to the same webinar. These are all different adverts I'm able to write. I can't wait to start writing. I'm starting Monday morning, first thing. Maybe Tuesday morning. Maybe we'll have Monday off.
I thought so.
Maybe we'll have a couple of margaritas on Sunday night.
Yes. Lovely.
A couple of margaritas on.
Going.
Yeah.
Get a kink out there.
Ooh. Couple of margaritas tonight. Okay. Okay. No.
Pass that.
Huh?
See how the marketing's everything, guys? It's everything. This hook, the marketing, everything.
Would you guys give us your answer to Mike's question? Like, meaning with your program?
What you have to believe? Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, perfect. Good.
So you'll see it woven into this presentation, which is why I want to go through it, right?
Maybe we don't answer it. Maybe we do it right. Maybe we go into the presentation, you start to see it. I think you're going to see it. It's very evident. Okay. And we're not going to just show you the what, we're going to show you how as well. So we're doing it on 2 levels.
Okay.
And on that point, the idea of your power content is to show the what, not the how. So it's what to do, not how to do it.
Very important.
Okay, it's a very fine line because you want to show them enough that they like don't feel like you've cheated them, and you're holding stuff back, but not to the point of like the nitty-gritty stuff where they can literally do it, because it's actually impossible to show them the how in a 60-minute presentation anyway. You can't show someone how to build a business or how to build a webinar or how to scale a coaching program or how to get a job or how to build in 60 minutes anyway. But you have to obviously make sure that there's that fine balance to so they feel like fulfilled when they watch it, but they still want more. Okay? So it's a very fine line. And it's something myself and Mike have been talking about quite a lot, which is this thing of like, how much do you kind of like teach and not teach? And what are your thoughts on that, Mike? We'll get Mike the mic again. Yeah. And because we've been like, Because at the end of the day, both ways work, right?
Yeah, both ways do work.
I don't want to confuse you too much in this right now, because it's quite a deep
I
concept.
like the way that Frank Kern does it. So it's like he teaches the big picture overview that gives you ahas and insights, but he doesn't bog you down with incredible amounts of detail, right? So just look at the way the world's going, right? We were speaking about this the other day. It's like information now is almost, it's a commodity, right? There's just so much of it. Whereas opposed to like the way that if you go read the old school direct response marketing books, it's like information was really valuable. Like if you look at the sales letters, it's like here's a giant manual and you get all this hidden information because, you know, like my dad was saying, he's like, when I wanted information, he would have to go to the library, you know, to find information. It's like now, you know, when he was trying to get ahead in life, he would literally go to the library and figure stuff out that way. So it's like, that's not the case anymore. What's valuable is the insight. What's valuable is cutting away the information. So, and what's even more valuable now is there's so much information people have is the actual implementation. So the way I think of it now, it's like teach them all the big picture overview so much that they're like, you're amazing, and then charge for the implementation. So teach information, charge for the implementation, but then don't bog them down with endless amounts of minutia and detail where it's like, all right, now I'm watching the guy log into lead pages and all that other kind of stuff, you know, where it's like, come on, you know, give them the big picture overview, which is going to build that desire and trust, move that conversion golf ball, and then charge for the implementation.
Should we dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yes.
It makes perfect sense.
Welcome, Alex Jeffries here.
Nice, man. No problem. Actually, you keep.
So potentially, you can see just as you see it, it goes along top left to top right, bottom left to bottom right. Okay, 6 slides. So the opening slide, you actually see me there on stage at Harvard. What we're doing there, very first slide is positioning. Okay, now positioning me at Harvard, but hear how I say the positioning. Okay. Hey, welcome, Alex Jeffries here. Man, I'm excited to share this with you. In this presentation, I'm going to show you how to attract dozens of brand new coaching clients into your business and scale to 6 figures per month fast. Now, I'm going to teach you how to do this without needing to act all salesy or having to do any manual prospecting to get clients, which I see way too many coaches having to do. Now, you can actually see me on screen there talking about this very same topic of scaling any coaching business to 6 figures per month in front of a high-level group of entrepreneurs at Harvard University. Now, I think my mum was the most surprised to see me speaking there, seeing as I didn't even make it through high school. But anyway, let's dive into this, okay? Okay. So what I've done is position myself, teaching how to get to 6 figures.
That's a quick question. So during the webinar, are you actually reading that, like on,
Yes.
on some notes? Like?
Exactly that, yeah. There's my script.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, you know, we used to script some presentations, others not. We wanted to make sure with this presentation we were going for the home run. Mm-hmm. We said, you know what? We've done webinars where they've made us millions, and you know, we wanted this one to be like the front of the business to like really like get us up now, because what's tending to happen, for instance, with Mikhail's business right now is he has scaling issues, and if he's there dealing with all of his clients, he's not able to do all the sales and stuff and the team building. We needed something that could do the big conversion. All the sales are easy. Adam doesn't have to be on the phone for hours a day. It's picking up the phone, takeaway selling, quick call, 30, 40 minutes, taking a 5-figure check, and the person's so excited to do business with us. We needed something, this is leverage. Do you understand? Yep. So we didn't want to wing it. We wanted to make sure it was the best possible presentation we could give. So then, as this does all the heavy lifting, me and Adam are more free to start building the other areas of the business. Because we understand, like we've been there before, we know what we've got to go through next. It isn't like, hey, we've got a webinar. No, now we got, you know, scale issues. You with me?
And and just so you know, guys, you haven't got to script your webinars verbatim. And the reason why we did is because I was on the phone and Alex was doing the presentation. So in order to make sure that every point was hit correctly and it was all getting taken across, obviously I had to make sure that every word that he said resonated while I was here on the phone. That was a big reason why it was scripted rather than winging it, especially for the first webinar.
Yep. And you know, when we're in the condo and we're speaking back and forth, we're just spitting, talking, you know, back and forth, and we're both, you know, firing out gold. And we're like, I could do the webinar right now off the cuff. Both of us were saying it. You know, we'd lived and breathed it for months. You know, I'd listened to him. I had conversations every day. I spent, you know, 10 hours a day with him talking about this stuff. But when it comes to this, it was like, you know, we could have done it. We started doing it in bullet points, but then we realized, you know, let's just script the whole thing word for word. Let's go for a masterpiece. You know what I mean? And we said, look, let's just go for a home run. And if we fail, then we failed. But at least we went for the best we possibly could. Do we recommend doing this? No. I really don't. Because we, you know, especially if you're new to it, you know.
You'll take 6 months to write that.
Yeah, you take more than 6 months.
And that's why I don't want you to really do it.
Now look at it. Look at the freaking thing.
That's what I was saying. Looking at it.
Yeah, look at it. Like this took us, like this was 3-4 weeks of sheer work.
And I literally wanted to skip over like 3 versions and go for 1, because I wanted to focus on other areas of the business. I wanted to have the hit. So it's actually a big risk and gamble, which I don't recommend you take.
Yep.
It's only because we were able to do it financially and we had the knowledge and security looking forward of if it didn't work, we had the safety nets. So that's why we went for it and we went for the home run. But I do recommend taking some quicker swings at it.
There's a saying, you know, be prolific, not perfect. You know, don't be a perfectionist, be prolific. So what is it? Be prolific, not what? Be prolific, not perfect. Yeah, you want to be prolific, not perfect. We could have got 4 presentations out in the time we did this, and most probably those 4 presentations would have made us more money than this ever will. However, what this did was we found a lot of our core components. You know, our 3 things we were speaking about this morning, you know, telefunnel, perfect leads, perfect offer, everything that's in here, there's certain verbiage, certain language that we now discovered as we sat there. What is our language? You know, you heard, like Ryan Dice talks about the tripwire. Who's heard of a tripwire before? Pretty much everybody's heard of a tripwire. That is just a self-liquidating offer. That's it. But you've all heard of it. He's marketed you a title. The person with the titles win. So now we have our own titles. So now you're going to be speaking our language. So what are you doing? Oh, we're building a telefunnel. You know, you'd be like, what do you mean a telefunnel? Oh, yeah, it's going to be common language out there, you know, especially as we start spending incredible amounts of money on Facebook, which we are already, but which we're about to scale, you know, and start ramping this up. This is 16 days old. You know, we're still in very early testing phases. Okay, so I'm going to leave it to Adam a second to go through it because this is several days of training, and I want to make sure that we don't really we hit the highest points. Mm-hmm. So what I've said there is, I give you a quick thing. You heard me reading the script, so you understand like my tonality. Did you hear the tonality? Yeah. My tonality changed several times. Mm-hmm. Bit of excitement, energy, laugh. People can hear it. People can hear the tone, and they want to hear the tone. They want to hear that change in rhythms and patterns.
So what we're going to do, right, is what we'll do is Alex will say each slide, and then I'll pick the key points that are very, you know.
I don't think I read every slide. I think just for speed, I think we look at them and like, why are we doing a big promise?
Okay.
You know, and we
voice. That's all.
We just got these as backup, you know.
Sure. So first slide, basically, guys, it's an introduction. It's the hook for the webinar, and essentially what's about to come up next is the big promise. Now, what we've done immediately as well with this first slide in the words is we've overcome some objections. So in the coaching market, it's how to attract dozens of brand new coaching clients into your business and scale to 6 figures per month fast without needing to act all salesy. So coaches who are selling their coaching right now, which a lot of our market are doing, are having to be quite salesy to make the sales because they haven't got the pieces in play. Their conversion goal ball isn't even off the tee. So they're basically going to networking events, giving out business cards, you know, doing presentations and trying to sell off the stage. They haven't got any of the pre-stuff that you need in place to sell the high ticket without doing a lot of hard work, right? So a lot of them feel slimy and salesy, and we know our coaching market, they actually don't want to be salesy. That's why most of them have one client who's their auntie's friend. That's like the majority of coaches, right? They're like, I have a load of value to give. I have this great message. You know, who do I sell to? Well, I'll maybe post on Facebook or something and get one client, which really isn't a business. So that's where we're targeting here. Plus also as well, even people who are doing quite well with their coaching business, they still have this issue, right? So at the bottom of that slide then, what Alex says, he says, if you don't believe 6 figures per month is possible for your coaching business, I'm not asking you to believe anything just yet. So basically, anyone who says bullshit straight away, it's like catch them straight away, you know? But wait, I'm not asking you to believe anything just yet. Even if you've been struggling for a long time and you're just getting started, all I ask you, keep an open mind while I show you the evidence, and you can figure out if this is actually absolutely possible for you.
Actually, absolutely possible for you.
So what we're doing is we're saying, don't believe anything just yet. I'll show you the evidence, and maybe you'll see this is definitely going to work for you. Right?
This is the language.
NLP,
You'll figure out if this is actually absolutely possible for you.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So if you guys want to template it, that headline is how to yay without boo. So it's like how to main benefit, how to get dozens of clients without all the negative stuff that they don't want, all the stuff they don't want to do. So if it's a weight loss offer, it's how to lose 15 pounds without, in this presentation I'm going to show you how to lose 15 pounds without, skipping out carbs and without spending endless amounts of time in the gym. So like take what they're teaching you and just try to see the underlying template behind it. And then you guys can all take your presentations and then, basic model.
Do you want me to read it, or
So it's like,
do you want me to?
I like
Okay.
that, how to A without B.
Okay,
And,
so
then anytime
he
you
wants me to read it.
claim, always either back it up with proof, and then one of the best ways to back a huge claim. So it's like,
Wait a minute, Michael.
Oh, there we go.
Foot long.
So it's like a really big claim, and when we were writing this, one of the best ways is just any time you make a huge claim, you always need to back it up with proof right away. So here it's like huge claim, and one of the forms of proof is to address skepticism. So that's
Which is there's going to be skepticism in all your offers. People are going to be like, really? Especially when you have big results like we've got. It's like build a multi-million-dollar coaching business. Well, first of all, they have to believe that it's even possible for anyone, and then they have to believe that it's possible for them, which we'll get to in a moment, how we do that, right? Which is all about belief, okay? So next slide is a big promise. I'll let Alex speak that.
Now here's my big promise to you today. What you're about to learn from me in this next hour comes from a tried and tested, proven coaching model, not only for the millions of dollars my students have made using what I'm about to share with you, but also from the strategies used inside my very own coaching business. Now, unlike a lot of the self-proclaimed gurus out there teaching theories, who have actually never done what they're teaching, what you're about to see is I walk the walk and I practice what I preach. See, after being in the trenches for the past 10 years, actually doing this stuff.
Your printing's off there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same.
Okay, yeah. Okay. So, and then so whatever, something's missing there, but I don't know how, but it's, but then it goes into the next part of the proof, and we're just backing, and following the proof anyway. We don't need it word for word. You can just see what we're doing. Big promise, going against all the gurus. These people are teaching theory. We're teaching proven. Now we come in with the third slide, which is Inc. 5000. So now we're saying, look, we're verified, right? Now, I have to be clear. We're here now. You're going to see me with a big swing in. Sorry, ladies. I'm trying to be the big swing in because we have that thing. All of you have that in your market. You have an angle. You have that something. You have that story. You have it. It doesn't need to be Inc. 5000. Mine wasn't Inc. 5000 10 years ago, but still I was doing $100,000 days 10 years ago from presentations like this. You with me? And I was nowhere close to this kind of stuff. So we go into Inc. 5000, so we're just backing up. So big promise, and then we're going in. Then we show the proof. We say, look, in 2015, my coaching company, Marketing With You, was ranked 935th fastest growing private company in North America. And then again in 2016, we made it to the Inc. 5000 list and actually improved our rankings. Our little coaching company was officially ranked 903rd fastest growing private company in North America. And I want to show you how we did it. Especially as these days, this is exactly what I specialize in, is helping coaches rapidly grow their business into the 6 figures per month without burning themselves out or without burning yourself out, and while keeping things very, very simple. Now, I have no doubt these strategies can absolutely scale your coaching business quicker and easier than going alone. Now, what you'll notice here is I got a thing, that's 2 minutes, okay? We hit the 2-minute mark. So look what we've just done there in 2 minutes. We've gone with 6 figures, You know, big promise, you know, gone against the grain, screw the gurus, they're all theory, backed it up with our own proof, showed the proof, and I said, I'm about to show you how we do it, how we do it. I have no doubt that this works. Look, you've already got the proof, so now you believe that it works. And now I specialize in teaching this. I'm about to show you how to do it quicker and easier on your own. In 2 minutes, I've literally, just somebody's gone, holy shit. They were skeptics, and I'm like, wait a minute. This sounds very, 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 very interesting. Make sense? Now, you know, what we can do is we can give out these scripts. So we'll give a link out. We'll email you a link out.
Scripts, yeah.
So you can all see the script. You can actually see it and read it and go through it and live and breathe it. But whether you play with it yourselves and cut it down yourselves or whatnot, what I would say is you just look at, even if you just use these and you just follow these, you with me? You just follow them along. You see what we're doing is, you know, we've gone in with big claim, then we've gone in with the proof, you know, with a promise, then we backed it with proof. Just think, what could my proof be? And just write your own notes underneath. You with me? Yeah. Like, what would be my big claim? Right to there. What would be my big promise? Right to there, underneath. You know, what is my proof? Well, if it is in 5,000, maybe you made $10,000 yesterday. Maybe you made your first $50,000 a month. Maybe you just got your first client some results. Maybe you had a TV appearance. Maybe, what is it? It could be anything, but it makes you unique, and it's just proof. Okay? I think.
Yeah, no, perfect. I mean, you know, next slide then is really
two handsome dudes.
Yes, it's Mark Well, the man himself. That is him.
The entrepreneur's entrepreneur.
And what we do here now is actually tell a story of how someone in their position, what we're trying to connect to, had struggles. We go into the pains, all the A stuff you see over there. So the A column, so, you know, so meet Mark Well, for example. He was A. When he worked with us, he got to B. That's what we're doing in the next slide. So if you want to read that.
Now, perhaps you can relate. Take my client, Mark Well, for an example. There's a photo of us hanging out in my backyard here in San Diego. Now, if you just look at the picture as well, you know,
there's my house behind you.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's a big mansion behind, you know what I'm saying? So it's just that, you know, and it's in color, the actual original picture, so it just shows the mansion as well. Look, Mark Well came to me for help with his coaching business because he was struggling. It was very clear he was focusing on all the wrong things. He even said himself that he felt like a busy fool. Right? So I'm not calling him a busy fool. He actually called himself out in the coaching class. I'm like, let's go in the webinar, right? Self-proclaimed busy fool.
Yeah, so you see, it was a pain of the market actually came from him, and it's gone into the webinar.
Yeah, he said, I'm just a busy fool. As before WorkMe, his strategy for growth was to consistently create new content and post it all over the internet, just trying to get some clients. He was doing Facebook Live, podcasts, blog posts, but it was all very hit and miss. And he had no consistent way of getting new clients, meaning it was either feast or famine. So at the start of every month, he would simply wonder where he would get his new client from, which is no way to live your life, living in constant stress and panic. And that's why he hired me as his mentor and joined one of my programs. So, you know, we're just showing that he's in A, and how to get to B is join one of my freaking programs, right? Next slide, $70,000 in 60 days. Talk about a turnaround for the books. If you read his post he made in our private Facebook group, he says, since joining our program right around 60 days ago, he made a little over $70,000 and just closed out another $10,000 a week. He then, towards the bottom, says he's about to crack the $100,000 a month mark consistently very soon, and I truly believe him. Now, more importantly, when you have this in place, each and every month moving forward, you can finally feel secure knowing you have a predictable income, and that's what I'm about to show you over the next hour.
Just all B stuff. You know, it's all B. It's results, predictable income, feel secure, you know, and consistency. It's what they want. It's what the market wants. You want to feel secure, you want consistency, and guess what? One of our clients went from A to B straight away.
And, you know, we've put the 70,000 in 60 days up there. Now, that's great. However, the rest of the language is even better. The security, the consistency, the no worry, no stress no more. That is emotion. The money is sexy, and that's all future-based stuff. But a lot of people are driven away from pain, not towards things. So when we're talking that he's gone from A to B, that's what's really driving them. Okay. So, and then the next slide is, this is not for, Okay, so it says, now I know all of this is exciting, but before we move forward, I want to be clear who this is for and who this is not for. So let's start with who this is not for.
And just to pause you there, right? There's a couple of reasons why we have this slide and what we say here, right? The first one is that this is genuinely not for these people, because we don't want unethical, lazy people who have no skill. So, because if you're a coach, right, then we don't want someone who has no skills or is lazy and isn't going to do any work, because what we're doing now is anyone from Facebook ads who look at this as like a business opportunity and they want push button, I don't want them on the phone, because when I tell them the offer and they actually have to do it themselves, they're not interested. They want done for you. They want some magic unicorn. Or if you're really good, they want Mikhail, right? That's what they really want. But even Mikhail
magic unicorn.
Exactly, but even Mikhail doesn't sell to them. Exactly.
Mikhail the magic unicorn.
So they want Mikhail, but even Mikhail doesn't sell to them, right?
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, you don't want them. Yeah.
on a second thing is that we're also letting them know, and it's a big one here, unethical, right? So we're telling them we don't want unethical people. What's that doing? It's saying that we are ethical, okay? So people want to work with ethical people. They want to make sure it's not a scam, it's not shady, it's not dodgy. So really there's an underlying theme going on here when we're actually genuinely not wanting these people, but we're also telling them that we are ethical, which is very important, okay?
So but before we move forward, I want to be clear who this is for and who this is not for. So let's start with who this is not for. This is not for somebody who is not willing to do any work to get ahead in life. There's no magic button. Sure, there's a fast track to success, but you won't get there by shortchanging people. So this isn't for the type of person who's unethical and wants to get ahead for themselves without helping others. I'm sure it's self-explanatory, right? Life doesn't work like that. This also is not for lazy people. You see, the last thing I want to do is work with those who have zero ambition. Plus, this is not for people who do not have a skill and do not believe their coaching can genuinely help people. I'm not willing to help the person get a load of clients that can't actually help others, as they're going to have a mess on their hands.
See what we're pre-framing there? I'm not going to help someone get a load of clients and then have a mess on their hands. We're pre-framing and preempting they are going to get loads of clients with this system.
And just one step up before that, this is not for people who do not have a skill. Like, I've got a skill. This is not for people who do not believe their coaching can genuinely help people. Coaches believe they're the best coach in the freaking world. So like, no, I'm the best. I've got a skill, I can help people. And then we're like, look, I'm not willing to help that type of person who can't help people because I'm going to get them a load of clients and they're going to have a mess on their hands. They're like, holy crap, this guy can get me clients. All right?
So yeah, it's definitely like a takeaway piece here. So they're like, well, this is for me. I'm not that person. You know, tell me what's next.
Yeah. Okay. So, I love it. So who this is for? So now I've said that, and so now I've said that, and it was important to say that. Let's look at who this is for. Now, in a nutshell, this is for people who are this is for you ethical coaches who can genuinely help your clients. But for whatever reason, up until this point, you've been struggling to get new clients. Plus, this is also for anyone with a skill or a talent who is looking to start a coaching business. So we're just starting to speak to them, you know, you. We're very clear, like, you know, it's one person. I'm speaking to that one person. They're not the unethical people, you know. Yeah, that's right. This also works if you're just starting out. So to recap, if until now you've been stressed and feeling burnt out, spinning your wheels to either get coaching business off the ground or to get more clients, then this is going to help you tremendously.
Notice how he's speaking to one person, speaking to them. It's not you guys on this presentation. It's
one
you.
person.
You.
Okay, so here's what you're about to learn today. You're about to learn the exact blueprint I personally used to go from being a stressed out, struggling coach to now building one of the fastest growing multi-million-dollar coaching companies in the world. And you're going to see how we shaved off years of learning so you can install this system into your business within the next few weeks. Plus, you're also going to find out where to tap into the #1 source of perfect leads for your business. So you'll never have to worry where your next clients are coming from. And I'm going to show you how to do it all virtually, meaning you never have to leave your home office, and you can literally live anywhere in the world while still getting incredible results for your clients. Now, as well as that, If anything today, you're about to finally see how to raise your prices and get paid what you are truly worth. Now, even if nobody has ever heard of you before, if you have no qualifications or no credentials, and until now you've secretly been terrified of raising your prices, you're about to learn all of this and much, much more.
Do you see that there, guys? I mean, a lot of it's self-explanatory, but I want to just say, with this particular slide here and these bullets, we actually write that after we've done the rest of the presentation, and we pull them out to put them here. So we actually skip this slide, continue with the presentation, and then pull out the hooks. It's kind of like pulling out the hooks for your ads. We pull it out for this particular slide on what they're going to learn. And guess what? This here becomes your squeeze page, which we'll talk about tomorrow. It's like, you know, free presentation reveals how I went from struggling to hitting 5,000, how to tap into your number one source of perfect leads, etc., etc. That becomes your Facebook ad copy. It becomes your squeeze page, and that's what feeds the piece, okay? And also as well, we're actually just overcoming objections. So the objection is, I don't think I can do this, raise my prices, I've heard this before, I don't think I can really do it. And it says, even if you have no qualifications or credentials, until now you've secretly been terrified of raising your prices, it's just overcoming those objections, because what you want to do is, you want to call out the objections when they come up, or even before they come up. Because you don't want them to have the objections when you give them the pitch and the offer. You literally want to knock down each and every objection before it comes up. So at the end, they're like, oh my God, this is amazing. You just spoke to me, and where do I sign up?
So, yeah, so we know people are scared of raising their prices. For instance, Tammy, we had a struggle with Tammy for a while.
You did.
Huh?
You did.
We had a struggle. Tammy's like, nope. I got too many clients. They're all paying me $300. But like, Tammy, you can charge these people $2,000. Look what you're doing for them. Like, nope, $300. It took us weeks and weeks. Tammy, raise your prices. And then she gets on the phone like, oh my God, I just sold my $2,000 price, And every week it's like, these girls are just selling $2,000 packages. Nothing's changed, just raise the prices. The value's there, do you with me? But people have their belief, and it's only your own belief of what your price is. We all have that belief. We all have our own cap. I bet it was a scary taking the first $50,000 client. Yeah.
I had to go.
Oh, let's get him a mic. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for the mic, Mike.
Yeah, I had to do step by step too. Like I had limiting beliefs every step of the way. I was like, $15,000. Are people gonna really pay $15,000 for done for you? Like, well, I don't want to sell for less. All right, let's try it. And I sold one. And I sold another one. It's like, man, $15,000.
Yeah.
$20,000. No more 15 anymore. And then I was like, but I don't know if they're gonna pay more. And now $50,000. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's soon to be 100.
Soon to be 100. I will have my first $100,000 client. Absolutely.
Yes, you will. You need a shock and awe page, though, for that one. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so what we do next now is we're tickling their fancy. We're giving them a little rub, touching them up. Right, darling? Congratulations. Now, as we dive into this, at this point, I'd like to say congratulations on being a coach. It's a real big money business. So I'm just sprinkling it with the money. With there being more and more people turning to coaches online in all areas of life, whether it be related to health, wealth, relationships, you name it, there's a huge demand right now for your services online. Now, like me, maybe you've spent some money on coaching in the past. I myself have invested in several coaches to improve different aspects of my life. From high-end coaches for my business, where I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with a crazy return on investment into the many millions. To health and fitness coaches, I actually spend multiple thousands of dollars a month on my fitness coaches right now. And without them, I wouldn't be in the best shape of my life. And over the years, I've invested in a host of other coaches. And I can honestly say, with my hand on my heart, I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today without the help of my coaches and mentors. And this is just one of the many reasons I am very passionate about helping coaches like you get your message out there and get paid what you're worth and make a huge impact on the world. And there's one thing, there's even better news for you.
So, the idea of this is just to sell, really, that coaching is the best business model. Because there may be some coaches out there who have got a few clients, maybe got a full-time job, part-time job, and they're questioning if it's for them, right? So what I want to do is reaffirm that, no, look, this is the best business for you. This is the way to do it. And you are in the right place, okay? Because for our marketplace, that's where they're on their heads. Some of them are kind of like, you know, I'm really making the right decision. And we're just really reaffirming that, look, coaching is important. And you're about to see in a minute that it's booming as well. Another thing as well, before you continue, is that we also mentioned, before I forget, is that Alex invests in coaches and spends a lot of money in coaches, right? Because guess what? We're selling them a coaching program.
So there's a few things we've done there, you know. There's a coach needs a coach, is what we're basically saying. Coaches need coaches, you know. Without saying it, if we did have that written down, it's like, it's cheesy. Let's remove it and say it without saying it. So we did. Then the other thing is, you know, congratulations on being a coach. It's big money business. It doesn't even bloody, the sentence doesn't even go properly. Congratulations on being a coach. It's big money business, you know. It's a big money business. It's just like, you're in the right place to get the money, you know. And the coaching business is booming industry-wide, and there's no sign of it slowing down. The business analysts, who's the business analyst in this one, you or him? The business analysts are actually forecasting a double growth.
It's real data.
It is real.
It is real data.
It is actually real data. Business analysts are actually forecasting double growth across many coaching industries by 2020, which means there's never been a better opportunity in history to grow your coaching business than now.
And this is important, something I've just missed on the slide is, if you want to do like a business analyst kind of thing or statistics, have the source as well. It gives like credentials to what you're saying, and somewhere in transition that slide must have got deleted because it was there. It was like business is booming, source, where it was from, taken from a text.
Yeah, we didn't like the source.
Sure. Well, we didn't like Mike's source, did we?
We don't like that source. Okay. So
It's making a claim of the opportunity and then backing up with third-party data. That's the.
Okay, you're not allowed to speak. Mike, go.
Sorry, I'm going to ruin the whole audience.
So yeah, guys, a big part of this is third-party proof. Okay,
Yes.
The more you have in, the better, because it's going to back up all your claims. Data, third-party quotes, celebrity quotes, third-party proof from testimonials, statistics, whatever you can get in is so important to back up everything you say. Okay.
I'm really going to try and move faster, but there's so. My hope is. My hope is, because we've got like 90 minutes to finish this, there's a 60-minute presentation if I'm just spitting it. My hope is that you are hearing it and understanding what we're doing. I'm trying to like...
I think to speed it up, I think we don't need to spit like, you know, every single word. I think we can just overview each slide.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
quite simple.
Cool. So that's good for me. I'm happy with that.
So basically, guys, the next slide is the evolution of the coaching business, right? We got old way, new way. The reason why we've got this is the fact I wanted to target coaches who were basically stuck in the past and were doing like old school one-to-one, not virtual, meeting people in coffee shops, you know, getting clients from speaking on stage and all those things. So I wanted to basically say, look, there's a new dawn, there's a new day. Old way, we actually slate the old way, add pain to the old way. I talk about living out of a suitcase, you're stuck in your local audience, you're the local business consultant knocking on doors, to the new way, which is like virtual, unlimited, abundance, the world. So that's why we got that in there, okay? Next slide is I must warn you, okay? What we're doing now is we actually say things are evolving quickly, so don't get caught in the trap. Because here's the thing. People who are going to the online business are getting overwhelmed with like Snapchat, all methods to like get clients and traffic and funnels, and they're overwhelmed. So we actually say, but I must warn you, be very careful of diving in and getting confused and lost because there's a lot of crap out there, okay? So basically pre-framing that, and a lot of them are in that position.
And we're just making sure that it isn't at this point, we're maybe 6 minutes in, there could be a drop-off at this point. So we're making sure it's like, hey, there's this new way, the virtual, I know this new way. So we're like, whoa, must warn you. You know, you've heard of this new way, but everybody, how is it working for you? You know, it's not going well for most people. So now we're like, but we have a better way, you know? So we're going to show you our virtual way is the best way. So it isn't like, shit, old way. I'm not knocking doors. I am online. I've got my bloody Facebook like page up. I've got my Twitter page up. I've got my LinkedIn page up. I'm bloody online. What are you guys on about? Ta-ta-ta. You with me? We had to really make sure. It's like, warning.
We actually mock then people who are just like doing Facebook Lives and Twitters and tweets and snaps to their friends and family. And we say, does this look familiar? 18 views, right? And they're like, yep, that's me, right? So, and we say, I don't say this to be disrespectful after I was really disrespectful to the people who are doing this because that was actually me not long ago. Now we make it, it's not your fault. We were just like that. Now you're relating to them like, wow, they built a multi-million-dollar business and they were just like me making these mistakes. Because I want them to realize they're making a mistake. So they're like, I need this. And like the amount of people who are coming forward like saying, because it came from the phone. I was speaking to people. I was like, what are you doing to market? Well, I'm doing Periscope. I'm doing Snapchat. How many clients did you get last month? None. Like, well, there we go. So I put it into the presentation.
And listen to this next one. You know, I don't say that, and I want to say this one out loud because I think this is important because this is resonating with them. This is actually them now bonding with me. Okay? I don't say that to be disrespectful to the people who are doing this. Because this was actually me not too long ago. I got caught in the very same trap. I was consistently spreading myself too thin, trying to do too many things at once. I was trying to launch my new book, launching a new information product. I was creating content for my membership site. I was trying to build these complicated funnels. I was posting on social media, pretty much everything besides bringing in new clients. That's them. I was overwhelmed, overworked, and unhappy. And worst of all, my business was in serious trouble. I had no reliable way to bring in clients, and I was barely surviving month to month. Well, I've told them through me. So they're like, holy shit, that's me.
Absolutely. And if it was you, then you can use that. If it wasn't, use other people as examples.
Yeah.
Okay?
So you can use stories.
Depends on the affinity you have with the market. Okay?
And it's not like, I'm not pointing at them. Like, you know, if you're overwhelmed, if you're struggling. No, it was me. I was this. I was overwhelmed, overworked.
You don't
unhappy.
say you're an idiot, you say I was an idiot.
Yeah.
So you take it off them, but really you're speaking to them.
He was an idiot.
Next slide. If it doesn't produce immediate results, it doesn't go on the to-do list. But really what we're showing here is that what we teach is fast. Okay? Rapid results. It's what they want. They want clients yesterday. Okay? So I'm explaining to them, but what we're about to teach them is fast, okay? It produces immediate results, right? Next slide.
And
We have to go a lot quicker.
Yeah, I know. But just here, what I've done is I've brought in a lot of emotion. I talk about, you know, until this day, I've never publicly shared this, but back in 2010, I was suffering with a major anxiety from all of this, which led to one August evening, I walked into my living room, I slumped over in front of my wife, I clutched my chest, and I asked her to dial 911. I was clutching my chest thinking I was having a heart attack. Now, luckily we found out it was a major panic attack, but it was enough to scare the heck out of me. Little did I know that pain and anxiety would be the turning point in my life. It was at that point I started to take a good look at my business, and I made the realization that just like my recent client Marquel, I'd been mistaking activity with accomplishment. I knew I couldn't continue this way because it simply wasn't working. So what we've done there is just brought in a lot of pain, a lot of just sort of like I thought I was going to die from all of this. Like that's how bad it was. And maybe even if they're not in anxiety, but that's where it could be going for them. And preempting where it could go if they don't act quickly.
I think anyone who's like, an entrepreneur, anyone in any life, has bouts of anxiety in some shape or form, So they're going to be able to relate to that, especially as entrepreneurs, and you risk everything and you've quit your job to launch a coaching business. I mean, the pressure you feel is incredible. And just calling that out and saying that you felt like that, they can then relate to you and they're like, okay, there is a solution to this, okay? Because the people who are feeling that are the ones who are more likely to pay a lot of money to escape that feeling as well. So next slide is Richard Branson, third-party quote, celebrity, respected businessman. However, we still tell them who he is. We don't assume they know who he is. Like billionaire entrepreneur and founder of Virgin Group, Richard Branson. We tell them he's a billionaire, right? And what we're doing now is we're now selling the concept that complexity is bad, simplicity is good. Because guess what? We're about to show them a really simple funnel that's going to like confuse them, because if they've been taught to do a million things, they're going to be like against this idea. So we have to pre-frame the fact that billionaire founder Richard Branson, not just us, not just all our proof, says that simplicity is the solution. They like that. They're happy about that. Okay. Next slide. Boom. There it is. The 3 steps to 7 figures.
No, I have to read this one because this is the beauty of as I sat at the piano. This is it. The fastest way I know to build a successful coaching business. Leads, funnel, offer. Now, as you can imagine, they all laughed at me when I told them I was going to make 6 figures per month with just 1 funnel and 1 offer. But then I grew one of the fastest growing coaching companies in the world without stress and without anxiety. And in recent years, I've been helping my students achieve life-changing results too.
So it's a classic line, I think it's John Caples, is it? John Caples, great copywriter, one of the most successful direct response ads. Start with, they all laughed when something.
I sat at the piano.
Yeah. They all laughed when I sat at the piano, but then I started to play. Right?
And everybody, yeah.
Because everyone feels like people laugh at them, they have the insecurity as well, so people are like, I'm going to show them. No, there's no better real motivation than showing someone, when you get like broken down, someone laughs at you and getting your own back and proving to someone. That is like probably the most inspiring, most powerful, motivating factor. Above greed, above all other kind of motivation. I think when someone really kind of puts you down and you want to prove them wrong, someone does you bad and you want to just get them back and show them, that is just such a powerful motivating factor.
My number 1 motivator all my life. That's been it since about 12 years old. That's what's driven me. That's it, to this day.
Absolutely. Next slide, Igor. Really, it's a successful client, and really, again, very much like Markwell, it just goes through some other things. So basically, the reason Igor's story is in there is to overcome the objection of I don't have the time, okay? So basically, every single story you have needs to overcome a big main objection. So you use a case study and a story to overcome a big objection. So ours is, say for instance, I haven't got the money, right? So you could have a story there where someone was, didn't have money, and then what they did though, they actually invested, in the system, in the traffic, and it blew up. Now, you have to be careful with that because you can attract the wrong types of people, but that's just one example. With Igor, with the time factor is everyone's kind of like, I'm too busy to build this funnel, especially a busy coach. Someone who's got sort of 10 clients, charging by the hour, they want to launch a book, they want to start a podcast, they want to do their YouTube channel, and now you're giving them another idea of a funnel. What they're thinking, I haven't really got the time for that.
And if you remember what I said earlier, is we're reshaping their belief system. So we've already layered this a few slides ago about, I was the guy who wanted to launch a book, launch the information program, launch the membership site, do this, do that, do this. Then I had major anxiety, thought I was going to have a heart attack, realized I was doing things wrong, went to the simple model. Everyone laughed at me going to the simple model, built one of the fastest growing coaching businesses going with the simple model, and then Igor come to me, and now he was like, I haven't got time. I told Igor, let's just remove a few of those things as well, because they're not working for you right now anyway. Just do this simple funnel. So what happens is people get attached to, I'm going to launch my podcast, and they get really attached to that thing. And I'm going to launch this, I'm going to do that, and once I've done all of these things, I'll come back to you. What we need to do is remove the emotional attachment to those. Say, it's okay, put those aside a minute. Just put them by here, it's okay. Now you've got all the free time you want to build this. You just remove that attachment. You with me? We're just reshaping how their feelings are to certain things.
Next slide is basically, but it's not just any leads or any funnel or any offer. You want the perfect leads, the telefunnel, and the perfect offer, okay? Because now you're branding the system, and now anyone who's heard leads, funnel, offer, you're basically saying, well, what you've heard before is crap because you actually want this way, okay? Because we now branded it to the point where it's not just leads. I've heard this. It stops from saying I've heard this before. I've heard leads, funnel, offer. What's the difference? No. You want this, okay? So next slide over then. Basically what we're doing now is, right, we're showing the 3-part system. And what you want to do is, these are like your big steps in your offer. These are your components, your main components. And what you need to do now in the webinar is basically take each component and break it down and teach the importance of the component, right? which is what we do is we tell them why they need a perfect offer, what a perfect offer is, and kind of like how you can create a perfect offer without too much intricate details, okay? So we give them the why, what, and the how, but on a very high level way of doing it, okay? And we do this throughout the piece to explain that. So basically, what makes a perfect offer? Your perfect offer is something when your prospect hears it, they're literally going to bite your hand off to buy a program or service for you. It's like, I want that, okay? And then we pre-sell the telefunnel. We say, especially after you've been through your telefunnel, notice how at the top of the slide, you can actually see the high-level overview of the system, and we're now breaking it down and showing them each piece, okay? So we basically go in and talk about the perfect offer. Next slide is that it must be premium priced, and you must leverage your time. So we're giving the elements of a perfect offer, okay?
I'm just saying, what we've done there is we said, you know, a perfect offer isn't just any offer. It's an offer when your perfect prospect hears it, they're going to bite your hand off to buy it from you. That's one thing. That sounds attractive, right? But now we're saying, but there's two elements, there's two musts to this. Now we're feeding into greed. It must be premium priced. It must be high priced because, you know, for the reasons we'll come to, and it must leverage your time. So it's like, well, I like that. Anybody who's excited by the abundance we've already gone into, we're actually laying that down now. So this sounds attractive. And we go into them.
And this is important because like Tammy said, you know, here's another thing of belief. What did we have to believe before we invested? Well, really, you had to believe that that you need a premium priced offer. That's what it is. You need a premium priced offer, otherwise you won't be successful in today's market economy, and what we'll show next, right? So what we go is we talk about it must be premium priced, okay? And we break down the reasons why low pricing versus premium pricing, so we spell out for them. And we really just turn the screwdriver in on the low price stuff. It's not perceived as not that good, attracts bad clients, and undervalues yourself. So anyone really in business who is charging low prices will feel that and they'll resonate with that. Anyone about to launch a business will be like, I don't want that. We then put it against high priced. It's perceived as better than good, attracts the best clients, and you charge what you're worth, which is what everyone wants to do, okay? So now we're really just selling high pricing, and really we go really deep on this, okay? When you get the script, and you can actually have the presentation as well, you'll see how much we go into this, because at the end of the day, guys, a big objection for us is, although I can say to them, you need to believe that you can, we make them believe that they have to charge high prices, but the big thing is they don't believe they can, a lot of people, okay? A lot of people do not believe that they can charge high prices. So the next few slides, which you'll see in a minute, really goes over the fact of proof to show them that people just like them have charged high prices and that absolutely they can and they're worth it as well, okay? Because if they don't believe that they're worth it, I can't sell them the high ticket selling system. Because it doesn't matter how damn good the system is, if they do not believe they can charge high prices, they will never buy it. They ain't gonna buy it, okay? They have to believe that.
This is the biggest objection in the whole presentation. This was the biggest objection. Because if we can get them to believe that they can charge high prices, and then we show them the system to do that, well, when they get to speak with us on the phone, their logical mind, not even the emotional mind, the logical mind's like, well, I've only got to make a couple of sales and I'm in the money. I'm in the gravy. So if we can make them believe, then that's the majority of the battle won there.
Because otherwise, I'm on the phone and I have to spend 20, 30 minutes convincing them they can charge high prices. And that's just one belief. It's a lot of time, a lot of proof. I've basically got to give this whole presentation on the phone to get them to believe they can charge high prices. I'd much rather them come on already at least almost there believing that. And then if I have to tip them over the edge, if I have to just knock them in a little bit with the pricing, I can.
Because they may be like, well, I'm charging $75 an hour. Maybe I could raise it to $200 an hour, and they think that's high priced. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Since we launched this, right, I've had people literally on the phone saying, since I watched your webinar, I've trebled my prices.
Yep.
I've quadrupled my prices. I've 10x my prices. Thank you so much.
Oh, by the way, just so everybody knows, Mikhail just made a $25,000 sale since he's been in this room. Just so everybody knows. Pretty freaking cool, right? Yeah. Pretty freaking cool. Yeah. Yes. So that's great that you raise your prices, you know, because before he had the belief of 15,000, and now he's raised it to 25. There's an extra 10,000 just like that. Congratulations on $25,000. Margarita's on you.
Can't wait.
Yeah. And then just on that note, we read in the applications, people saying in the application, literally, I've just left your webinar and I've tripled my price already before they even get on the phone. So people are changing their belief system there and then and applying with the belief changed. It's freaking incredible.
Cool. So then it's like the next slide is how much should I charge? And basically we go in, we say about Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, and we talk about, it's actually a story of how a jeweler accidentally priced the jewelry for double rather than slashing it in half, okay? And that they actually sold out of it by charging double because of the perceived value of it. Does that make sense? They were meant to, someone screwed up, they were meant to half the price of the jewelry because they couldn't shift it for love nor money. It wasn't selling, right? They accidentally doubled it instead of halved it, and it just went off the shelves. And they were like, what the hell happened?
Nobody was looking at the turquoise jewelry to start with. And then
because it was like one of the most expensive pieces now in the store, they bought it, and it sold out.
With no reason, apart from it was just the higher price.
Straight up perceived value, backed up by proof. One of the world-renowned, thought leaders on human psychology. We're backing it up with proof, a book, best-selling book as well. So we're not just telling the story, we're backing it up with the proof, all right? Next, objection. We just call it straight out. Oh, and then, the amount of people who come to me and say, I can't raise my prices because we then go through and handle every single objection in there, basically, with a story of someone who came to us for help. And basically, it's, the pain they have. I can't raise my price because my clients won't pay that. I'm not ready. I don't think I'm worth it. I'll charge more when I get more experience. My current clients would leave me. I'm afraid. I feel like a fraud. These are all things that people think about raising their prices. We call it out and we tell a story of how we worked with Paul and got him to raise his prices and his business boomed. Okay? More success stories, more proof, calling out the objections, A to B. Okay? Next, must leverage your time. Right? People love this. People love this.
Love.
People want time freedom.
Love.
Right? And people who are busy with one-on-one coaching, they are really dialed into this, and we make sure that they then believe that this is possible. And obviously, this is what you must believe to actually make the perfect offer. Without this, it won't work, okay? So then we dive into that, and we talk about how you can unwittingly create a job for yourselves. So a lot of people quit their job, start a coaching business, charge by the hour, and they're actually on minimum wage when they do the maths on what they're actually charging, okay? Because they're working they used to do 40 hours in their job, now they're doing 100, and with barely any clients and charging by the hour, they're on $10 an hour when they actually do the math, Okay? So, do you want to talk about it now? Cool. So basically, it goes in deep there. Lots of notes with that. Again, we'll send the presentation to you. Straight away, Dean Holland. Great, good old Dean.
Good old
You
Dean.
see him there with a beer with Alex?
Good old Dean.
Good old Dean.
I love that guy.
Basically, again, another success story. And this is a story to overcome the objection of price again. So notice we've hit them with 4 stories to overcome the price objection. Because we ain't playing on this one. Because honestly, it doesn't matter what else we say. If they don't believe they can raise their price, the sale's dead. It's the one thing for us is going to be the biggest objection. It's what I was hearing on the phone. I was like, I ain't risking having anyone with any doubt about raising their prices. Because if they do, they won't buy, and we'll wonder why. What happened? I don't know. No one's buying anything. Well, because you asked them the question, the real reason was this, okay? So the story then talks about Dean launched his coaching program from scratch, where they're going to be, a lot of them. $1,000 price point. We were able to double the price within a couple of weeks when he got confidence. Scaled and scaled and scaled. Dean now, to this day, actually has a multi-million-dollar business, okay? Next slide. Him and his girlfriend, his fiance, living a beautiful life, smiling. He's happy. Again, guys, it's A to B, overcoming the objection. Next slide is a testimonial from Dean as well. So it's actually from the horse's mouth. It's not just stories, okay? Dean's actual words on this, self-explanatory. We recap the perfect offer. And basically what we're about to do now is pre-frame the golf ball analogy, right? So if you look at that slide there, why is no one listening to you, okay? And we talk about how basically, you know, you won't make a real impact with your message, and you'll spend the rest of your coaching career speaking to a tiny audience unless you do what we're about to show you next, okay? Which is where they're at. Next slide is the good old Peter Drucker. The aim of marketing is to make selling superfluous. So again, guys, we're pre-framing the idea of this before we reveal the telefunnel. Because what we're about to do now is reveal the telefunnel, okay? And we want to teach the concept of it just before we explain what it is. So then when we actually describe what the telefunnel does, they feel like they already know. It just, even though they heard it like 2-3 minutes before. Does that make sense? Are there any questions, guys, before I go forward? Because there's a lot here. No?
So when you're recording this, are you doing it live the first time and then taking the recording and are you doing it like screen flow?
I'd use Camtasia, and I just, if I made a mistake, I said the sentence again, and I went back through and edited it and made it a clean presentation. Because you heard me when I was saying this, like, so let's look again at the telefunnel in front of your ideal clients. Like Peter Drucker, the founder of modern, and I've just cut out the first piece.
Next slide is really what we just taught you there. Okay, so we teach it on the webinar. This is a very important concept for people to grasp. Notice it's a concept. It's an analogy. Analogies are really, really important in selling.
Yep.
Because if you talk about funnels and leads and, you know, upsells, downsells, people are like, eh. If you always take it back to the golf ball analogy, like, yeah, I get it. Marketing's the drive, the sales are the putt. So they always feel like safe and they bring it back to it. So they can see clearly in their mind this idea, okay? Because you want to plant the idea of this analogy so they can always go back to it. So no matter how confused they get, you bring it back.
And what's interesting is with this golf ball analogy is we're about to show them the telefunnel that does all of the heavy lifting, does all of the marketing. So we're framing it so when they hear the telefunnel, they're like, holy shit, it does that? So we're really like letting them know Peter Drucker says this. Let me give you an analogy so they can conceptualize what Drucker's statement means. Then when we say, and here's the telefunnel and it does this, they're like, oh, wow, okay, I want a telefunnel.
So basically back to the high level view of the funnel, right? Which is perfect leads, telefunnel, perfect offer. We've covered perfect offer, right? So now they can see where we're going. Okay, good. I get perfect offer. Do you have a question, Dave? No. Oh, sorry, buddy. So notice how we actually went in reverse to teach this. The reason is it just makes sense in this way of teaching. We went backwards because essentially, if we start with leads and we start talking about the leads flow, they don't really see the bigger picture of where it's going, and it kind of gets lost on them in this particular instance. Okay? So think about that. And the reason why we do it is because this is how we teach it. This is how we teach our coaching program, right? If you notice, week 1, create your offer. Week 2, you start building the funnel. Week 6 is like the traffic. So I wanted to teach it in this way because it's easy to conceptualize with this particular thing. So always think about that when you give presentations. You are still teaching. And in order for them to really grasp it, you have to teach it in a way that makes sense. And in this way, it was backwards. And people actually commented on that on the when I got on the phone after coming off the webinar. They're like, it's really interesting. You taught it backwards. It made total sense. I've never seen anyone do that. So I don't know if anyone does do it backwards like that, but it just made total sense in this instance, okay? Most people start with the traffic, right? Which is the wrong thing you should do anyway. So, telefunnels, boom, trademark, #1 system attracting your perfect clients. This is the first time I'm showing a telefunnel in its entirety. This is the #1 system for attracting your perfect clients. My business partner, Adam Davis, the creator of the telefunnel, which is short for telecommunications funnel, okay? And basically, we basically just pre-selling the telefunnel in this thing. We talk about being the original system, which grew one of the fastest growing private companies in America. And this is being hailed as, by us, the most powerful client attraction system in the coaching business, period. Okay?
So say that again.
It's being hailed as, by us.
It's being hailed as the most powerful client attraction system in the coaching business, period.
Big, strong claim. But guess what? It powered the Inc. 5000 company, and there's lots of success stories. So we make these claims, you know? Okay? You've got to be confident what you're selling. Very important. Because if you don't have confidence and conviction, they ain't going to believe you, by the way. You have to really believe in your offer. And I'm telling you, if you don't believe in what you're selling, you need to go back to the drawing board and figure that shit out, because you need to sort your mindset out. Because if you're going out there like, I've got a telephone, what do you think of it? You're like, they ain't going to believe it. They'll hear it on the phone, in your tone. They don't pick up on it. Like Mikhail, you said yourself, right? Yeah. When you were kind of selling people who didn't really want to enroll, they can feel it. Yeah. You're like, you don't, when you pitch, you pitch.
Yeah. When I didn't think I wasn't sure if I could get the results.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I wasn't like 100% sure I would get the results, even though if I would put on a facade and make it sound like I could, I think subconsciously they could just kind of feel it, and there was always hesitation. There was always like, you know, even if I didn't say it, even if I tried to be as confident as possible, just subconsciously they're like, well, they came up with excuses and so.
It happens, right? When you're selling on the phone, the confidence is like everything, because basically there was people said, you know, how can you tell if someone's lying, right? And everyone was like, it's the visual cues, it's how they look up and right and down. The proper scientific studies are told like it's done by the voice. Yeah. You can tell by how people sound. It's not done on visual cues. The only really way you can tell if someone's lying is their tone, the way they say it, and it's that kind of understanding of what they're saying is not serious, which is why it's so important on the phone to be confident and say things with clarity, confidence, conviction, because if you don't do that, you'll be like, I just did 10 calls, I didn't close one person.
It's also important in here for tonality, not just for, but for believability, you know, the ups and downs. You know, I'm making sure that if you see the breaks in my lines here, they're broken in certain ways that I've read through it before I've recorded it. I've read it, so I know. So as you can see, a telefunnel is made of two components. The first component is the power content, and the second component is the magic script. See, I'm not like reading big, long lines. I know what I'm doing, so I sound confident. So I want to look at these two components, and I've got two in big capital letters. I want to look at these two components. It's the market, you know, as the marketing and selling. I got rhythm because of the way I've written it. So when people listen to me, they're like, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. I sound confident. Continue.
Absolutely. So
Sorry,
yeah.
how far in are you minute-wise?
Microphone.
Minute-wise,
17.
is it 17? Yeah.
I would give about, at this point, I'd give about 15 to 17 minutes, I'd say.
Okay, so this is when you actually present the product, correct?
No, nowhere near.
So what we're doing on this webinar is the close of the webinar is to apply to work with us. That's the call to action.
Right, okay.
So what we're doing now is we're just teaching them the system, and then the close is what you're about to see is, hey, do you want us to help you build this system in your business? Okay. If you do, apply here. Okay. That's basically in a nutshell. So with the magic script, essentially what we're doing now is we're just selling the power of the magic script. We talk about try and sell a $5,000 program online over a webinar is very difficult. So you need to take it onto the phone. And the last thing you want to do is be on the phone with no script and no steps to follow. Okay? So we're basically selling the phone here as an important tool in your arsenal. You know, the best asset without question is a phone in the coaching business or any high ticket business for that matter. But obviously we're just doing the coaches here. Okay? Now what we're doing, the next slide there, as you can see the kind of zigzag of people queuing up. What we're doing is we're getting them to imagine having a line of people queued up who want to work with you. Okay, so that's the visual there, and we talk about it. And what we're doing next is we're talking about how we actually hired a non-salesperson, gave them the script, they read the script, and they did $1 million in 40 months. True story. True story. Okay, I have several of those people. Okay, who literally read the script that I wrote verbatim, over and over, every single day, and they did 7 figures by doing that.
Each?
Okay?
7 figures each?
Each, yeah, each.
And
They honestly couldn't
yeah,
sell.
They're not salespeople.
They're not salespeople.
They're totally not salespeople. And, you know, and Adam said, you know, the guy, and basically, it's a very true story. You know, if you listen to the webinar, we had so many applications that we pretty much, you know, knew the magic script worked for us, but we had so many applications coming through the door that we needed more people. And somebody walked through the door, and he was not a salesperson. Actually, we had two of them. They walked through the door. One looked like the Mask of Sorrow, and the other one just didn't look like, I won't even mention what the other one looked like. And we basically gave them the job, and they were scared. And he said, Adam just said, just read the darn thing. And I think he made the sale, first call made a sale, I believe, maybe not.
Yeah, one of them did. The other one took like 3 calls or something. And like these guys didn't know, they're selling internet marketing coaching. And they didn't know what a squeeze page was.
Yeah.
You know, and they're selling high ticket internet marketing coaching, not even understanding what a funnel was, what a squeeze page was, what affiliate marketing was, none of it. Didn't matter. The script did the work. Well, the marketing before it did the work.
Yes.
So the ball was so close to the hole, and then the script just finished it off.
Yeah.
Got it in the hole.
And the first one guy made us $27,000 the first month. Wow. So it was $27,000 extra that we
couldn't believe it. I mean,
we couldn't believe it. Because you got a guy sitting there reading this thing, and it's like 27,000. Like, oh, wait a minute. Now we can get more of these. You know, you only need a few more monkeys, and we just go back to the marketing. And it wasn't. We've never had, like you said, and it wasn't. We never went after sharks. So we mentioned earlier, but we only realized recently that we should have got coaches. That we would have made a few more million. You with me? Because they would have been a bit more compassionate on the phone.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yep. And one of them, you know, was kind of like a coach in you know what I mean, he's kind of turned into a coach now, and he's quite compassionate, which is why he did so well. The other one, not so much, but really, they just read the script, okay?
Yep.
Which is, to get to this point, where it's like literally verbatim, is a process, and you have to make sure that you understand your market inside and out, and really, they're all entering at the same point, okay? So if your market entering at different points, and different things, then you need to go on the more consultative type close, a more consultation type close, and you're not going to have a verbatim script. Does that make sense? So if you're selling a system that like Joe Blogs off the street can implement, you can do a word-for-word script because you don't need to go off track. If you're selling to people where it's more consultation needed, you're taking different types of people on board, you need to have more skilled people who understand the business more. You have to coach them more, okay? So just be aware of what you offer and what your market is and where you actually have that balance and where it lies, okay? Because not all businesses can have it like that. Sometimes it's not possible, okay?
I believe everybody in this room could have it like that, though.
If they wanted.
Yeah.
If you want.
So here's what's interesting. Adam skipped past this page, but I think this is an important step that he skipped over. Definitely important for me, as you'll understand. I'm going to read this one. In fact, I'll never forget back in May 2014, I took a 2-week vacation to Thailand with my family. All I needed to do on vacation was one group coaching class per week and reply to a few client emails over a coffee by the pool each morning. Though on my return from vacation, I discovered I banked over $100,000 in sales while in Thailand. Now, on that note, I have a question for you. Would you like to do the enrollment calls yourself, or would you like to outsource most of them like I have? Either way, I hope you're starting to see the power of this part of the telefunnel system. So we're talking about the script, how you can actually, you know, read it, and other people did it. And I'm saying, you know, here's my story. I was on vacation. I made $100,000 on vacation. And I'm like, would you like to do the calls yourself, or would you like to hand it off to others? And it's like, well, holy crap. I would like this, other people doing all this. So it's a true story, and it's a great story. For me, obviously. Cool. It was a very nice time.
So next slide is basically just recapping on all they need, okay? Which is one piece of power content, one magic script, one perfect offer, one person on the phone to $1 million, okay? Just recapping really, just so they can, because the reason why we recap there is because at this point, people get confused now, and they're like, you know, there's power script, magic content, you know, they kind of start mixing the words up, they get confused. We just bring it back to, listen guys, this is all it is, okay? Just another way to kind of recap in a very simple way. All that comes next are really just testimonials on the magic script, selling that. A few case studies there, a few testimonials, a few actual comments. And then next, we recap on, you know, where we are in the flow, which is power content magic script. Let them know that that is what makes up a telefunnel, okay? And next we go on to the power content. Again, we're working backwards, okay? Now, basically, we talk about what power content is, the different ways to deliver. Again, what we discussed earlier. Really, what we taught you earlier is what we're saying in this webinar, okay? The different types of power content, we talk about that. Again, then, testimonial to sell power content and how good it is, okay? And just bear this in mind, right? We call it power content, not an auto webinar. Do you know why that is?
Branding it.
Exactly. So there's not like, heard this before. Oh, you're like that other guy. What's his name? Ross or something, you know? Jeff. Paul. Right? You're like him because he teaches leads into auto webinars. Oh, so I've heard this before. Again, we're like, not just any webinar, not just any sales letter, not just any video. It's power content trademarked. It's a name we came up with. Okay? So you should always look to try and brand your stuff. Okay? The first place you start that is obviously in the name of your coaching program, because that is the system. And then if you can actually start branding your components and the steps to get there, the better. Because that makes you unique. That makes you different. Okay? Little tip there. Really now we then talk about the power content, talking about how it's automated, and really just showing on the fact you haven't got to constantly repeat yourself saying the same thing over and over again. Because essentially, if you're going to sell something high-end, right? Just like Mikhail's done with his sales process, he's actually got a discovery call, right? And then you've cleverly got power content then to actually sell the proposal. So you go like power content, discovery call, match the power content that they need to see to then teach them what they'll be doing, right? That's the process?
Yeah, because on our first power content, we kind of mention all the different types of funnels. You know, if you're an information marketer, if you're this or this. Sorry. So on each one of those, we kind of touch on each one and then build case studies. This person got this result with this particular funnel and this. So on the discovery call, we just find out exactly the type of business, and then we have our presentation call, which is, okay, well, you're an information marketer, this is your funnel, so here's like proof with this particular funnel, and on there we have like proof about us and stuff like that. So it's like kind of a two-step power content.
It's interesting. You do discovery, you almost put in the shock, it's like a shock and awe power content piece after the discovery call. Yeah, it's nice, man. I actually, I mean, it's interesting how you develop that, because it's taken from other sales methods, but I don't know how many people are doing that in your marketplace, which is interesting.
Agencies, most agencies just, what we used to do, and it didn't work, was we do the discovery call, we put together a proposal, and we just email it to them, and we try to chase them to see, hey, did you go? But now what we do is we literally 2 minutes before the call, we set up a call with them saying, hey, we've put together your presentation for you. We're ready to walk you through your exact funnel. And then right before the call, 2 minutes before, we send them the link, we call them up, and we take them slide by slide through that particular presentation, like verbatim. And then they already know the price because we tell them on the discovery call the range price. So
what happens after that? Do they get in touch with you, or do you follow up? What's that?
So right then and there, at the end of that is credit card. Because at the end of that presentation, they already knew the price. They're super pumped. It's like it's 3 payments of $15,000 or 1 payment of $40,000 if you want to do a lump sum. We also have like add-on. We'll do a website for you for 10 grand or whatever. In there, it's like, okay, the next step is we send you an MSA and we send you the first invoice. When are you ready to get started? And they're like, right now. Cool, okay, do you want to pay credit card or do you prefer a wire transfer? Like, credit card. All right, well, let me just grab your credit card. My assistant will send you the MSA and we'll get started instantly. We'll set up your Google Drive folder. It'll start the onboarding process.
Beautiful. Selling $50,000 done-for-you programs with that way.
I like that. Smart.
Very smart.
It is smart.
It came from going on the phone, right?
It came from going on the phone and facing yeah. Absolutely.
Very
Sorry.
smart. Very smart. I'm gonna be stealing that. Thank you.
Cool.
It's like a mastermind it's turned into.
You guys pretty much gave it to me. It's just after trial and error, it's evolved, and yeah, it's awesome.
Very nice. I love it. Congratulations, man. Awesome. Cool. It's always the best clients who take your ideas and then evolve them into what works for them in their business, you know? So don't be afraid to test that, okay? Obviously, we're giving you templated stuff here, and obviously that works at a capacity, but really test your own stuff out, you know? If that means breaking up, you know, the script into 2 calls, or slotting in some shock and awe power content between 2 calls, or breaking up a webinar into a 3-part video series, test it out. The same rules apply. All of it. This is foundational stuff. There's more than one way to skin a cat, okay? So, we're basically selling power content here is basically being a 24-hour salesperson. So instead of going on the phone and pitching or sending a sales team out, you just drive people to a video online. Drive people to a webinar. Simple as that. Let the webinar run 24 hours a day. Let the video run on demand 24 hours a day, and let that do the heavy lifting for you. The only way you can do that and give a good pitch before that is by getting on the phone and figuring out what to say. Take what you say on the phone into the power content as much as possible, and then really the phone call is just bringing the pain out, last minute objections, close. Okay? That's all it is. Do you have a question? Let me get the mic for you, buddy. There you go.
So we're going to be really open and honest here. I'm over here getting really excited, and she's over here coming up with objections of why this might not work. Sorry, babe, to put you on the spot, but it's just because I want to handle those objections. So one thing is our target market is in the wealthiest area in Arizona, Scottsdale. And they're over 45, 50 years old, business owner, entrepreneur, executive, investors. So she's thinking they're not going to either watch a webinar or that people over 50, because sometimes they can be 60, 70 years old, our typical client. So you're thinking they're not going to watch a webinar, and you also...
I believe that people in this age, they are technology challenged.
Just to hit on this, it doesn't need to be online. It can go out in a CD. It can go out in a CD that they play in the car. If you need be, they got a cassette player. They're that old. Send in a freaking cassette. Do you listen to cassettes, CDs, or do you use your computer?
I mean, honestly, guys, everyone knows that to type in a URL and go to a page to watch a video. Yeah. They do.
And I think people who are in that area that are more financially successful, they're probably with the technology.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I can assure you
I have no worries. It sounds like they're perfect clients. You know?
They will watch a present. If you get them to, if you pre-sell a presentation and tell them what they're going to get out of it, then they're gonna click and watch it, and they're gonna sit there for the entire period if it talks to them.
And also, not the saying you have to do this, but just to give another example, you could have a video presentation. You could be doing small workshops like this in the area every few nights of the week. Have somebody run the event for you so you don't have to be there, and play a video so they sit there and watch a video, just to give you an example. If they don't have the internet, which I'm just joking with you, but I'm just saying it's just getting that in front of them. If they're in that area, you with me? You ship it to them in a CD, ship it to them in a DVD, give it to them in writing. It's all the same. It's
if they're successful, then they study and they read and they watch and they learn. And like, let's just say, for instance, the video doesn't work, send it to them in a PDF format. I'm just saying, you know. If they literally won't watch videos, send the PDF. And that's why in your funnels, you actually end up having PDF versions to read after as well, which is a bit deeper. Yep. So you send to videos. Some people you will get people who will say, I would never sit through a webinar. I'll never sit through a video. Sure, they're normally a small percentage, and you will actually pick them up by actually turning your presentation into a written format, literally turning this into a book and sending the book and read that.
Imagine we made this look pretty now. Yeah. Make this look pretty. We make it into a physical book, and we say, okay, we'll send you our book for free. Just tell us where to ship it. Pay shipping and handling. And we start shipping out signed copies of my book. This is a sale. They're going to be reading it like, oh. You with me? They're like, oh my God, it's a sales piece. But they're going to be so excited because it's a very informative, educational sales piece. So this is our book. Okay, any other questions? Just pass it around, hands up.
Got something there.
I think I can help you. I'm a geezer.
Geezer.
You know, I'm over 64 years old, and I know a lot of geezers that are in my age range that are very wealthy that I work with, and we're all tuned in now. I mean, if you're not watching something on a, nobody wants a CD. They just want to stream it, or they want to get to it. So I know that's anecdotal. It's just me, but I've been doing things for a long, long time, and have a lot of wealthy friends and clients in my age group and older. We call this the Older Than Dirt Club, and they'll watch it. I believe they would watch it because we'll watch stuff, well, you know, like that. And if you get them like what they do, they get your attention right away, whether you watch or that's your vehicle of watching. If you get somebody's attention, you know, in the old days, oh brother, the scientific data is if your headline, which they call the hook, with your headline attracts somebody's attention, 70% scientifically will read or watch or listen to the rest of the message. So that's all you gotta do is grab them and they'll watch.
Good point. Thanks, Mike. Awesome. Just the same, Mikhail?
Yeah. So I would, like, I've realized for my market at least that because I'm selling done for you, a lot of this stuff here is educational driven, which when you're a coach and you're trying to tell someone how you build a system or how they go and build a system, a webinar works really, really well. What I've realized for my particular market, I actually modeled their VSL that they had before with the minnows and the whales. It's much shorter. It's like a 12-minute VSL, but because my market, they're like, I just want it done for me. I don't really care to learn this system, or, you know, I just want to know that you guys can do it and you guys can get me results and that you've gotten results for other people. So for me, I've noticed that that particular piece, you know, 12-minute, 14-minute video sales presentation works better than a 60-minute educational kind of webinar. And I got it from those guys as well. So you have to know your market too in that way.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Do you have another thing to say, Mike? No? Okay, cool. Awesome. So basically, again, next slide is on the power content. There's like, you know, automatically educates leads on why you're the best solution for their problem, automatically leads them to apply for an enrollment call with you, okay? So it's basically just outcome stuff there on that slide, okay? Now we're just doing some testimonials backing up the power content, talking about how Patrick got 99 applications, but a phone call ain't, you know, 99 problems and a phone call ain't one. With that, then again, we just recap Power Content Magic script, let them know that that again is a telefunnel. Once again, we've got the freedom model at the top. As you can see there, they can see a high-level overview on exactly what we've just gone to, right? Last but not least, we got the perfect leads. And by the way, it wasn't an accident either, the fact that everyone thinks they want leads. So I kind of kept that to the end. So we're like, guess what's coming next, guys? The abundant lead source. Everyone wants leads. So rather than just telling them straight up front what the perfect leads are, it does beneficially help us. It worked in many different ways to actually teach them this way, but also it just happened to be a bit of serendipity here, where the perfect leads are actually what they're really waiting for. Okay, so it helps if you keep them, hooked on to, like, you're about to discover the big thing, the big thing, the big thing. Keeps them watching because they're waiting and waiting and waiting, and they get hooked in by everything else. Okay. So perfect leads. We all know leads are the lifeblood of any business. So tapping into a consistent, reliable source is essential, especially if you want to have a very successful coaching business. Okay, because what coaches want, they want leads, right? They're not getting leads. They're doing Facebook Live, Periscope to their little market, their tiny little list they built up over 50 years, networking events. There's no leads, there's no blood, right? They need leads, okay? Now, basically, we just recap then over when you get leads, put it through a telefunnel, get them on the phone, close them with a script. You just need to feed the beast, feed the monster, okay? Which is very important. And we really, really sell the perfect leads. Next, we then define what a perfect lead is. A perfect lead is someone who is looking for a solution to a painful problem you can help them solve, okay?
So we've now made a title, the perfect lead, and now we've defined what that title is. We've defined what a perfect lead is. So, you know, it's now, I guess, our own category of leads. And now we've defined
We made that up, by the way. That definition is totally made up by us.
And we've had several, you know, versions of it, and we looked at it and said which is the best sounding. And listen to this. A perfect lead is someone who is looking for a solution to a painful problem you can help them solve. So we've already covered, you know, you're the coach, you know, you can help these people. They've got this painful problem, you can help them solve. So it's the match, you know, it's like this is now what a perfect lead is. And now we're going to show you how to get all of these perfect leads, put them into your telefunnel. When they see a perfect offer, they're going to bite your hand off for it, which is highly leverageable for your time and highly premium priced. See how we've just stacked this presentation all the way through? Like this presentation is so stacked, it's unbelievable. It is stacked to the high hills.
There's no stone left unturned. I want to literally be able to like pitch the offer at the end. That's how good I wanted to have it. I wanted to be able to sell a 10K program, and I bet some people would have bought it.
Yeah.
With a buy button. Not enough, which is why we put them on the phone.
Yep.
Right? But people would have bought. You know, I got people on the phone just like, where do I buy? Do you want my credit card now, or do you want to talk? I'll still talk to them though. So, there's the perfect lead there. Next slide. Oh, Mikhail Dia, there we go. So Mikhail pops up there. Back in May. Oh, there we go. It's actually back in April, right? Yeah. So April, you had your $52,000 a month. Yeah. Not bad. In a few months' time now, you trebled that.
I didn't hit 100,000 in May, so.
You didn't. You fell short. Naughty boy.
That's all right. I know.
Do you know why? Because you went on vacation.
Yeah, that's true.
You went on a
actually.
2-week vacation.
I did go on vacation.
Yes.
That's true.
But you hit it in September, so it took you a few months longer to treble your income on.
Yeah, no, I hit it in August, but in September
Oh, there we go.
Very nice.
I had a good month.
Yeah, it's a bummer. We need to update the presentation. But what's nice about it, I would say we need to update the presentation, but what's nice about this presentation, this testimonial is we're now preempting the you spend on ads. Made another 15K last week from $1,370 in ads. Boom. Aim for 100K in May. Anybody's going to go, well, wait a minute. I'm willing to spend $1,300 to get 15,000.
Yeah, you should follow this. The next slide should be my testimonial of 160K a month.
Yeah.
He didn't hit it in May.
Yeah.
But he got 160K a month.
I get it in the,
after working
editing
with
booth.
us in a few other months.
I'll be in the editing booth now.
Back end of the knife. Cut that thing up. So
I'm not playing with it. It works too
so yeah, you know, what Alex said is very important here, because here's the thing. A lot of people are scared to spend on advertising. They're petrified to lose money. So we need to pre-frame that, look at the result. Before I even tell them they need to buy advertising, I'm giving them a success story of someone buying advertising first, just to cushion the shock.
Yep.
Right? Letting them know. Now it's like, boom, Facebook ads. They're like, I've heard this before, right? But basically, because we pre-framed it enough, we got so much results. What I want to do now is just sell Facebook ads again, because some people are like, tried it, didn't work, heard it before, all the objections here. So what I do on this slide, basically, is talk about there's 1.7 billion active users on Facebook. If your market ain't on there, they ain't anywhere. So it's like, you've got to be on Facebook advertising. Don't care what you've heard about it. And we actually talk about someone saying, I've heard this before, Facebook's ads won't work for me. And I was like, I used to be that idiot too.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're really hitting the objection. So we've cushioned the blow with Mikhail's returns on investment. And now I'm saying I was a freaking idiot by not doing Facebook advertising before. What an idiot I was. Pretty much saying, you know, if you don't do advertising, you're an idiot. Without saying that.
Lost loads of money not doing it. And back in the day, I'd rather spend $2,000 going to another seminar to learn stuff I didn't really need to know than actually get real help and even spend $500 on advertising. How stupid was I? Ridiculous. Okay?
We know our market's going to seminars. We know they're spending money, sitting in rooms for several days, learning stuff on all these different ideas that really they could be actually advertising their business and getting results.
It's crazy. It's a form of procrastination, a form of fear, and you know, and they basically just put it off by, I need to learn this one little bit more before I do it. before I take that step. Just that one book or that one course I need to study, that one seminar coming up in June, I'll do it after that to make sure I don't make any mistakes. It's bullshit. Get you the mic. Good, buddy.
So I know Alex, you're starting to do a little more social than what you usually do. It seems like you're starting to build some live feeds and a little documentary or something. How do you plan to leverage that?
Excellent question. It's something I was going to actually cover, right? Here's the thing for us, right? Right now, the reason behind us making these videos is not actually to kind of talk to the audience that's there right now, okay? Which is interesting because what we're really looking to do is when people do, because what people do is they research now, right? So when people hear about you, they Google your name. They go on YouTube, find videos. They go on Facebook, they find, where you are. And what I want to happen is, I don't really care about the live element and actually hitting people at that point, but I want them to actually Google Alex's name, my name, coaching with you, hit a page with so much content and proof that if they're in research mode, I'm giving them the stuff to research.
Yes.
I'm handing them the research. So that's what it really is. It's actually not a live element. It's just where the market's going right now. And I always want to hand them that stuff. And as we're spending on Facebook ads, they're going to find our Facebook fan page. If there's nothing on there, it doesn't look good.
Right now, my Facebook fan page, my Facebook account, I have an Alex Jeffries account that I've had for years that just never has any views. Right now, because they're going to this presentation, these people see me, they go into Facebook, put Alex Jeffries in. Well, the first thing that comes up is not my personal Facebook, it's my fan page, Alex Jeffries fan page. And it's just views, views, views. So I'm getting all these notifications that all these people are viewing my fan page. Like, hey, 162, I wake up every morning, 162 people checked out your fan page today. I'm like, oh, okay. We're now getting this traction. But if there's nothing there, they're doing their research, there's nothing there. So what we're doing is testimonial, testimonial, testimonial. We're just putting them on there, just layering it down. So as they start scrolling, like, holy crap, they're just seeing all of it. We're just building that. So as they're doing their research, we're creating the research for them. That's all.
And we could do a lot more of this.
Good question.
It's a great question. We do a lot more of this.
And that's why I've hired these guys to film, It's like today we did a day in the life, this morning. They were at my house filming. And, we're going to finish it today, and some of you will be in there, and this evening it'll be finished. And then I'll do a voiceover. Then they come in, they're doing a crib-style video at my house. So that's the video. Then I'm doing content piece every week. I've got these guys doing a content piece with me every week. That is just good content that I can spend half a day, cinematic video in, but it's more about the message. Start putting it down. When people want to do research, they're going to see me, get to know, like, and trust me, see me on stage, see me in different places, see me teaching, see me get results, see me with case studies. People are doing research. We're buying cold traffic now. They don't know me. It's not like I'm known. In my last market, I was very well known. Now I'm not known. You with me? So we've got to now create the platform to research. Nobody knows Adam Davis. We kept him secret. He was the secret guy. He was hidden behind the scenes for forever. He was never on stage with me. Yeah, here he is. And now we got to bring. No, the great thing though is we haven't got to, but it's an asset to bring Adam to the front as well, because now there's two of us. Now there's two personalities. There's two people able to market twice as much. There's people are going to resonate with him over me. There's an advantage of bringing him to the front. Whether we can bring him to the front enough, because he's got to do a lot of back-end stuff still. But even if we get one piece and I market it for him, but now I'm still going to have to do videos for him so they get to see him as well. So it's just we're just creating the content for the research, not for live. Yeah.
I want to just make sure as well, guys, don't worry yourself about that either. Don't think that you have to have these Facebook Lives on there before you launch your ads. Just launch the ads, and it's a secondary thing you do. It's like just, you're basically just start layering, adding a bit of salt and pepper to the food.
For instance, just say it, Victor did a Facebook Live just now, Robbie. We're not going live. It was just, hey, we're just recording. Now that
I don't care if there's no viewers on there.
Yeah, now somebody could scroll in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Me and Adam went to Michael Gerber's birthday party, and we did a Facebook Live in the car. Then somebody liked it just a few days ago. Obviously, that's popped back up. You watched it. You liked it. 15 other people liked it around the same time. It's a 4-month-old video. You with me? But like, hey, we went to Michael Gerber's birthday. We're in a, that's all we're doing is, hey, we got this presentation. In 4 months' time, somebody might see this and go, holy crap, these guys are teaching some really great stuff. And they may give us $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 from that one video.
And you only do it when you're running traffic and building your audience.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't just do it for like months on end to nobody.
Yeah.
Because it's just a waste of time.
Yeah, so just to really be clear, we're knocking it in our presentation because that's all people are doing, trying to like, hey, I'm live, hey, and that's it. They think that's going to get them a client. What we're doing it as today, we just did that live, was just as research pieces that later down the road, when somebody's coming and seeing us because we're buying traffic, we're paying for advertising, when they see us go, wait a minute, I've never heard of these guys before, let me just Google them, Alex Jeffries. Go to Alex Jeffries' fan page. Oh, on Facebook, they're going to not Google me. They're Facebooking me. They're Facebooking me over Googling me at them. They go, boom, Alex Jeffries. Go to my page, and I got all these videos and case studies and screenshots of people said about me, and this guy did this and this girl did that. Well, okay, this guy's for real. I'm just giving the platform to research. And that's powerful. We're owning the research platform.
And by the way, guys, as well, to overcome this majorly is the shock and awe page. Okay? So before the call, like I said, you give them the research. So when they do the Facebook, if there's not much there, they've at least got like one page to go to with all the stuff comprised. So it's like, it balances it out. Because otherwise, if you're trying to sell them something, they Google you, can't find you, and they can just give you a lot of money, they start getting a bit worried. That's why you've got to give them the package, give them it all there.
But also why we're doing this here is because people may not have applied and they may have watched a presentation. Before I apply, let me check out these guys. Let me put in Alex Jeffries to Facebook. Now we're just giving them a kind of a shock and awe page on Facebook openly. Oh, wow, look at all that. Oh, I'm now going to apply. Then they apply. Then they see the shock and awe page. Then they get on the phone with him. I saw him on stage with these people. You with me? We're just building that. We're just building our positioning for the market. We're trying to own it.
Absolutely. So we've got 30 minutes. I think we can carry on.
Yes.
So
you can go.
Organic traffic is dying. So again, we just want to talk about how you need to do paid ads, right? Because it's true. The organic reach on Facebook, now you post on your like page, it doesn't get seen anymore. You have to pay to play. Facebook have said it themselves, and coaches, business owners are posting on their fan page. You notice they got like no likes, 1 like, 2 like. It's pitiful, right? And that's why you want to do paid ads. So when they do see a page, you get likes and they see your content at least, and then obviously you're going to get seen, okay? So we just talk over that, give proof, show that organic traffic is dying, third-party proof, actual quotes from Facebook, all the things in there, which are very key to actually prove what we're saying. Next slide is really we're just showing the power of Facebook and the targeting. So we give an example of how you can actually target people who just recently got engaged to be married. And so imagine if you were selling a weight loss program, you could target brides-to-be and show them how to fit into that dress they want to wear and look beautiful on their day, okay? If you just give an example, and it really is an incredible targeting tool here. So we just show the power of Facebook very, very quickly. No need for much detail. It's really just a demonstration of proof of the power of Facebook very, very quickly. Next up, we give an advertising ROI example, which basically shows them like, if they're scared to spend even $100 on Facebook ads, we show, well, look, you spend $300, even at the some real kind of average numbers, $5 a lead, 10% to app, only 4 people on the phone, close 1 in 4, you'll still make $2,000, right? Which is, with Mikhail's example, he was doing better than that, right? He was doing over 10 to 1 on his example. That's less than 10 to 1. So we're then showing like Mikhail's example, then we're showing a slightly worse example, which is still incredible. I mean, where can you put $300 into anything and get $2,000 out really? What's the average return on the market? 6% of some investments.
Average return on bonds is like, what, 2% now?
Average return on bonds, 2%. I mean, we're talking like thousands of percent here, It's crazy, right? Hundreds of percent on this particular example. So we just break it down, talk about that. So we make it turn into like, almost like, we don't want to be hypey and biz-oppy here, but it is like a cash-generating machine. You put money in, you get more out. That concept there, people can grasp and understand, because it's like, well, if you failed to this point, it's because you didn't have a telephone, you didn't have a perfect offer, and you didn't have perfect leads. So now when you run ads, again, if you've done it before, or you actually do it for the first time now, you're going to get incredible results. So they're like, that's why it didn't work. I get it. I was missing the telefunnel, right? So you make them believe that they need these components, and that's what they need in place. So next slide, you now have a choice. Guess what's coming next? It's the call to action, right? It's the pitch. We're pitching them to apply. Okay? So basically, I'm trying to think of the time, whether you even like do the call to action here.
No.
No? So basically, we'll actually send you the script of this, okay, verbatim, so you can just swipe it yourselves, all right? But I'll just quickly run over the overview of it. But really, you want to steal the words and put them into your call to action and make it fit for your business, okay? Because it's working very well, and it's quite a takeaway sell for cold traffic, surprisingly. Most people like sell the call, free call, we're going to give you loads of value on the call, please fill out an application. Whereas like, don't even apply unless you're ready to work with us.
That's what everybody told us to do. Everybody's like, you really want to open up the floodgates, it's a free strategy session, we'll help you, the call will be so magical, even if we don't do business, you will leave the call with just this. We're like, no, let's do the opposite to that.
So, thanks, Victor. So, you now have a choice, which is basically either go it alone and fail or work with us. We say it better than that, okay? But that's basically it is. It's like, look, you have a choice now. Look, we've taught you the system. We've taught you how to do it. However, we know from experience, people going out on their own are going to take at least way longer to achieve this than without our help, or maybe even never at all. Working with us is the right choice. And if you're the right person for this, then obviously this is a no-brainer for you. Imagine getting results like these people. Thank you, brother. Are you our next success story? We're looking to personally work with the right people to help you implement absolutely everything I've just shown you today. Would you like that? Having a telephone in your business? We'll be following our proven step-by-step blueprint for success in the coaching business. Our only aim is to help you get consistent clients in your business so you no longer have to worry where your next client is coming from, okay? There's lots of strong sales language in here, and we basically say, we'll aim to have it up and running in a matter of weeks and a matter of months. So I'm giving them time differences of with us and without us. Basically, time is money. We'll help you implement everything in regards to talk you through and actually walk them through it, okay? So we want to make this sound as done for you as possible when really it's done with you, okay? Now your offers, you need to obviously look at your call to action and what you offer. If you're not doing done for you, the next best thing is done with you, okay? So you want to get as close to done with you or done for you as possible because that's what people want. They don't want the information.
We're not selling coaching, we're selling implementation, and we're selling results.
That's why we don't actually say we're going to coach you at any point. Because I didn't want the coaching coaches thing that's going around. It isn't really happening in the mass marketplace. It's just our little IM community where everyone has their thing to say. We're like, oh, another guy coaching coaches. It's bullshit, trust me. I've just been out in the market. They're not even thinking that way, right? So we can actually put you off by listening to some of these clowns in the business, okay? Be careful of your actual marketplace as well. If you listen to forums and groups, be very careful not to get caught with that kind of incestuous, inbred ideas that really aren't true in the bigger picture of things.
I would not listen to anybody unless they're crushing it. So when people are giving advice, don't listen to them. I do not listen. Our marketplace was full of people with so much advice and so much opinion, it's retarded. It's stupid. Everybody is like saying, oh my God, this is pathetic. They're all broke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They have a lot to say.
They've got a lot to say and they're broke.
They go to these seminars, hang out in their little cliques, and they all just slate everyone off. They just like, put everyone else down.
It's incredible.
And
Honestly.
they're not even doing it themselves.
It is. It's honestly incredible.
It's shocking, like, you know, the people.
So if you look at mine and Adam, or Mike's, in fact, as well, we don't give advice on our Facebook wall. We're not bitching people and airing dirty laundry or calling people out. You don't see us doing that. We're busy doing business. But we look at this marketplace and I'm like, oh, God, you know, it's bad.
Yeah, they all got an opinion, their political opinion. It's just, you know.
They say stuff about us. You know, you want to see how much people say about us.
I'd rather make a new webinar than write a post about politics, you know? Really.
You can only imagine what they say about us. But
yeah,
it's so funny. It's like, yeah, we actually take screenshots and laugh.
We're not liked in that community, you know, because it's, you know, the guys that left and flew the nest, or the guys who are at the top of the hill. You're gonna get things thrown at you.
Yep.
You know, but then you just stay above it and you just like.
Yep. They get annoyed, you know. Everyone's annoyed at us, and you know, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that, and this is our opinion, and this is the way to do it. Continue.
The higher you go, the more it'll happen as well. The more you get known, presence in the marketplace, the haters are going to be there. And a lot of them hide behind their keyboards, say it to you directly, indirectly. It's just a natural thing that happens. There's never really anything directly said to us, but it's just insinuated. We hear about it. We do not react. And it's going to happen to you guys as well. It's going to happen. It's totally natural.
The only time we react, we have reacted a few times. Only a few times. The only time we do react is if it's wrong and it's hurting the business, which has happened to us, where people have lied and it's hurting our business. Then we react.
Cool. So basically, again now, what I'm basically making here is an offer to help them put in the pieces, right? So now, do you see what we've done? We've pre-framed the reason why they need perfect leads, why they need power content, manage to get a perfect offer, educate them on why they need it, so make them believe they need these things. Now we're offering to help them do it. If we just started the webinar with, we'll help you do this, they'd be like, so what? What is this? What is the offer? What is the leads? I don't get it.
So we've reshifted all of their beliefs, like I was saying earlier. Now they believe that they need a telefunnel. Now they believe a telefunnel does all the heavy lifting. Now they believe a telefunnel is the best client attraction system in the world. Now they believe a telefunnel combined with the perfect leads is the best business. You understand? They believe all of this, or they should be, or a percentage do. Well, and by reading the applications, a lot of freaking people are believing it.
This rare opportunity to work personally with both myself and Adam Davis to help you install a telefunnel in your business is like nothing we've ever offered before, and it's strictly by application only. We're letting them know they're applying to work with us. It's not a free call. It's not some free advice. This is straight up applying to work with us. Okay?
Now the next slide took us a while to come up with a domain name, and I think the domain name is freaking great. helpmegetclients.com. Apply now at helpmegetclients.com. So when they click that link, they go into an application, they go into a form to schedule a call and apply. They're saying, I need freaking help. Help me get clients. They are a coach who wants clients and they need help getting clients. That is, remember I said earlier, and this is so clever. They are now, their mind, they need help. Yes, I'm clicking that button, I need help getting clients. They believe in that, they're going forward with that in mind. When they get to speak with Adam, I need help getting clients, Adam. Perfect. We got the best client attraction system in the world. It's called a telefunnel. I know all about it, Adam. I've watched the presentation. Alex did it. It's fucking amazing. And I saw him speak at Harvard about this. It's incredible. And I saw this video about him talking about how he did it. It was so emotionally gripping. I cried watching it. He reminds me of me.
Did you put your Harvard video on the shock and awe?
Yes.
Oh yeah, right at the top. Right at the top. Oh yeah.
And we're going to have that as a video ad as well, even if it's just branding. Just, you know, it'll be out there just to make sure every freaking person sees it. But yeah, so helpmegetclients.com. It's just such a great name. Instead of, you know, because we were like, to go to telefunnels.com/apply. It's like, nah, we need a name. What is it? And it was Help Me Get Clients. Now I believe that's a key point of leverage. I think that's a huge leverage point for the business.
Mm-hmm. So, you know, we just say a must stress is not for everyone. So again, we're doing some takeaway here, right? Do not apply if you have no value and just want to make a quick buck, because this is important. I don't want like opportunity seekers getting on the phone who have no value to give because we can't help them. They just will waste my time. If you have no value, we can't launch a coaching program. So like, I just want to make sure we do not get the wrong person on. You know, do not apply if you don't like to put in the work to succeed. Do not apply if you're a skeptic. Because at this point now, I am not doing that phone call to convince them.
Yeah, well, actually,
it's over. This is the shot. This is the money shot here.
Look, listen to this. So if you're the type of person who doesn't like to work and prefers to blame others for delays, then we can't help you. Also, if you're inherently skeptical and still don't believe a 6 or 7 figure coaching business is possible for you, then don't apply. We're not going to spend the entire phone call trying to convince you. The evidence that this works is everywhere. The results speak for themselves. My 2-time Inc. ranking company, the hundreds of people all over the world in dozens of industry are testament to that. So we're basically, to say what we're saying there is like, if you're skeptical, don't apply, and because we're not going to convince you. So the people who are now like, oh my God, like the people who are clicking that button, help me get clients, we've overcome that skeptic again. We're even just saying it. You with me? No, I'm not skeptical. And even if they are slightly skeptical, it's just like helping them remove that. We're just like, releasing that from their brain. No, I'm cool with you guys. I'm starting to believe you. Go on.
So again, now it's just, this is for you if. I know we did this at the start, we're just doing it again to really make sure, we just call them out. You want to help launch a successful coaching business. You put that in because if anyone thinks that this sounds too advanced for me, I'm not there. I wanted to bring in the people who wanted to launch a business from scratch. Just let them know again that, look, this is for you, that you can literally start from scratch. Or you are looking to grow your current business fast. So I don't want to alienate people who think it's just for launching and people already have a business as well, right? You're looking to make more while working less. Obviously that's a benefit outcome they want. And you want to fast track your coaching success, okay? So I'm just making sure I'm getting the right people on the phone at this point, pre-selling them and getting them there. Big objection comes in now. Will this work for me? My business is different. Next slide. Yes, this works in every industry. List out the industries that this will work in. Very important for our business, right? Because if you're selling, someone off the streets to launch a business from scratch and anyone can do it, you haven't got to put this in. But if there are different variables, different types of people, different businesses, and this is like, a blueprint for many different kinds of industries, you need to obviously overcome that objection. And we actually overcome it in the webinar. If you listen in as well, we mentioned like several different coaches that we worked with and all those types of things in different industries, okay?
Something that we didn't do, and we had some feedback, it's a very male-driven presentation. And we had a female who's great at webinars. She actually did a critique for me. And she was like, Alex, do you only sell to males? I'm like, no, we sell to females as well. And she said, well, it's a very male-driven presentation. There's a lot of women coaches I don't think would buy into this. And when we are getting women buy into it, it's something we definitely missed was bringing more women in. For some reason, we knew it when we were building the presentation, and something happened, we were busy, we just missed that, didn't we?
Can't be perfect.
Yeah.
Basically, because there's no testimonials in there females.
Every testimonial's male,
and that's a problem. That is a big problem actually with the webinar. It's a rookie mistake, and we know better. and we missed that. We missed it. Yeah. We even talked about it while making it to include it. Just you're trying to get it out there. You get it together. You put so much into it, and then it launches, and then someone mentions it. You're like, oh my god. Yeah. There we go. It's almost perfect. 99.9%.
But how much is that one testimonial hurting us? Just that one, we don't know. That one woman testimonial. But we're getting women apply, so it's nice. We're seeing like a decent amount of women apply.
But it definitely is. It definitely will make a mistake, and it's just what happens in the fitness industry. Okay, so when they're selling these fitness gadgets on the QVC channel or late night TV infomercials, Dan Kennedy was talking about this. And he was like, I don't know why anyone puts in any men in there. Because really, the fitness industry, based on the sales, it's like 80, 90% women. So he said, you just may as well make all your advertising towards them and actually target them with that. So, and really, with the coaching business, especially with the life coaching, it leads more towards females as well. So we're actually missing out a lot of people, I would say, by not showing that this works for females. So it's definitely something we should add in. I get Alex in the booth again and say it. So there we go. Mike Marin even gave me a testimonial. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, you did. You wrote it yourself as well. He did. So there's me and Alex there in front of Downton Abbey, just showing our pictures, showing the real people. Downton Abbey actually is quite a famous thing now. It's actually not even called Downton Abbey. It's called Highclere Castle, right? But Downton Abbey is what it's known for. They're like, wow, these British guys in Highclere, they must live in a castle.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what people think.
Just quick.
You know the Queen?
One quick.
It's a question I've got before.
When I first come to America back in 2007, I was asked, do you live in a castle and do you ride a push bike? And I looked at the person, I was like, wow, you know, like that was the perception. The people had never been. Now, obviously, that was in Alabama. And nothing against Alabama, Jim. But,
that's a better question that I received. Oh, you live in Brazil. Do you have electricity?
wow.
Oh, do you guys live in apartments? Do you have buildings?
Yeah, it happens. But that's why we put ourselves in front of a castle.
That's why we put ourselves in front of a castle to let them believe we live in a castle. let's feed into that. Yes, we live in Downton Abbey, yes, of course. Royalty.
So, yeah, so Alex says here, so here's me standing in front of my crib.
Let me read it. This mentoring and implementation program is the first of its kind. So now this is new, okay? We're making it sound brand new. Adam, who I'm stood with, is the creator of the telefunnel. That's myself and Adam at Downton Abbey. And this is the only place you'll be able to work with myself and Adam together. And this may very well be the last time we'll ever do something like this. You'll unlikely ever get both of us helping you at the same time ever again, as we have other plans. So it's the first of its kind. This is the only time you're going to get access to this, because we've got plans to do something different.
It could be.
Oh, we do.
And it could be, you know.
We do have
I may
other
never want to
plans.
work with you ever again after this.
I know, it's been tough. So do you understand? We've put them in a time vacuum. This is you know, if I'm this quote unquote guru, he's the guy who created this system. We're doing it together. This is the first time we've ever done it. This is the only time you can get hold of it right now, because we may not be doing this ever again together because we got other plans. We've put them in a time vacuum. We now control the time. Not, oh, I'll think about this and come back. They think they'll miss out on the opportunity.
You make it an event.
Yeah, you make it an event and you have to control the time. You need to control everything. So now you have two choices. Choice number one, you can go with this alone based on just the information we went over on the webinar today. Or choice number two, you can apply to work with us right now and potentially have this up and running in the next 3 weeks, generating you brand new premium price clients like clockwork. And basically, here's what to do next. So if you're looking for rapid growth, it's time to take the first step. Visit helpmegetclients.com, schedule a call with us, and we can hop on the phone and see if this is a good fit. And think about it this way. Even if you just got a few extra clients a month, would that be worth it? If you have any doubts about whether you can do this, look, if you can help people and you are ethical, then I believe you can grow your business. I believe in you, and I believe in the telefunnel also. So make a commitment to yourself because you deserve it. All you have to do is make a commitment to yourself right now that you are fed up of mediocrity. Make a commitment to yourself that you aren't going to get pushed around anymore. Make a commitment to yourself to give you and your family a better life, a life that you deserve. This is why I care so much about your success, because you're a coach and you deserve better. Are you ready to step up? Now, if you're sick and tired of where you're stuck in life, apply to work with us right now by visiting helpmegetclients.com. Let's jump on a call. Let's see how we can quickly transform your life. So here's what to do next. Apply here, helpmegetclients.com. The second thing you need to do is schedule a time and date for a discovery call. But you have to hurry. There's less than 20 places available right now. However, if you're serious about growing your coaching business and you're ready for big success right now, and we're taking on less than 20 people that are going to be personally mentored by us through this entire process in this group, helping you generate the perfect leads and turn them into the perfect clients. For everyone, and for everyone who does apply, I hope you've enjoyed this training. There's some things missing there, but what we've done is, what we've made a decision is, now people like to know their small numbers, okay? So we've realized based on our numbers of business that we want to generate, that we can take on groups of 20 and not go over groups of 20. And we know that we can have 20 people in a group and we can have multiple groups. And we know that the groups last for so long, we know how many groups that we can actually run to hit the numbers that we want to hit. You with me? And then when we want to change those numbers and we change dynamics and the business changes as we told you it will because it's evolving, then we can actually cut out that, I can go in, cut out that 20. I go, you with me? But right, because if we need to open it, it's like frickin' hell, you know? Well, we've got 20 people on the phone all day and selling 3-4 people a day each. And we, you know, the business has changed, evolved. So, but at the minute, we're very happy with 20 people in each group. And we know, you know, the groups last so long and so many groups. So, and then we just go into a picture of my 2 children on the bottom of my stairs. I don't know if you've seen my house, but my house is like Scarface's house. It's like some stupid staircase, you know. It's like Tony Montana's house. And so there's a picture of my 2 children at the bottom of the stairs. And it just says, you know, why do you do it? You know, why are you really in business? I do it for these 2. Me and my wife moved to San Diego for a better life for us and the boys. And these guys give me the motivation to work hard for them and my clients. What motivates you to work hard? If you're a hard worker, yet you know there's a smarter way, then welcome to the world of the telefunnel. Apply here, helpmegetclients.com. For you who do apply, we'll send you lots more success stories on the next page where you can continue your training. Now, normally at this part of the call, I'd like to say let's open up for Q&A, but instead, let's get on the call one-to-one. Look, it's been a pleasure serving you so far. I look forward to talking to you soon. Alex Jeffrey, sign out.
And that's it.
Woo! And with that said, that's pretty impressive because we've just covered everything. We've covered everything, and it's 10 minutes before. So have you enjoyed today, ladies and gents? With 10 minutes to go. Whew, that was a pushy day. 9 minutes to go.
Cool.
Yeah, we've covered a lot, huh? So any questions? Good.
David?
So ultimately, building a webinar like this is the best scenario, best way to do it. What is the, you know, if you were to put together like a sandwich campaign, what's the shortest video you could put out with the right components that you would get applications that wouldn't be a waste of time?
It's just market dependent. You know, it's like how complicated you offer, who you targeting, how pre-qualified are they? Do you need to teach them what a blog is or not? You know, it's impossible to say. You know, and everyone wants that magic number, and it's whatever's enough is enough. And it's just reverse engineering your offer and what they need to believe, and however quickly you can make them believe is how long the piece needs to be.
We aim for this to be 60 minutes. Okay. So as we started out with no clue, no baseline, it's like, okay, we're going to try for 60 minutes. And this is 65 minutes, I believe. And, you know, we did a test run and then we did a clean down and I got it to 65 minutes. But we could take this now because there's the components in here. And I could take this down. I could do a 20-minute version of this with just the high-level components, no script, and just fly through it, and we'd begin applications because we now have the main components. Okay. However, would those applications be as good as these applications? It's all based on education. It's this. You with me? This is doing the heavy lifting. You know, the longer you can keep somebody's attention and educate them, the better. You know, that's what they say. Long-form sales letters will always outperform short-form sales letters because you just keep, you know, you're not saying stuff for the reason of saying stuff. You're selling. This is everything here was every word was structured. Was it good? Mm-hmm. You know, it was very structured. Pass it to Leland. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the question for you guys is like when you're looking at, so where we are, we've launched our survey funnel or, you know, the sandwich campaign, as you guys call it, to our list. We're getting leads. But again, they're probably like middle, you know, in terms of we haven't got our content dialed in.
Yes.
When we're at this stage and we're looking at like follow-up, follow-through, requalification, like sending quote-unquote power content on an individual basis now to these applicants, you know, how did you guys think about that in the early stage from like a sales process? Or because I know the telephone is all about automation.
Really speaking, we didn't. because what we kept doing is trying to get more leads, trying to get more phone calls, because that's where we were learning. Now, something we spoke about when you weren't here this morning was, everybody talks about how marketing drives sales, okay? But what we've learned, and again, I've never really heard anybody talk about this, is how sales drives marketing. Because when we're on the phone, or Adam's on the phone, and we're hearing and listening and learning, we're able to bring that back. So then the next piece we create, our first piece is like your sandwich campaign. It's middle of the road. It made us 6 figures, but it wasn't like spectacular. We're not like, it's great living, but it isn't like boom. We're looking for the big one. But then we got that information. So we didn't really care about the leads. We left them. We were trying to get more leads, more people on the phone, learn, scramble together, figure this out. Okay, here's our second piece. Put the second piece out. Drive our old leads back to this piece and new leads. And I was like, boom, this works. But if this didn't work, we were ready to create another piece based on whatever, we were willing to create another one and another one and another one. Just so happens this is a winner, but we're still going to create another one and another one and another one.
You always test.
Yep. So you guys are leaving behind. In that sense, I guess to translate, you're saying you're less focused on the applicants that are like qualified but not converting to like do sales touches, but more to build more content to drive
what
better
we're trying to do
top funnel.
in this process, and we spoke about, and we'll definitely get you the DVD of this or the recording. The process where you're here, you're here. This is where we were. You're not here. The process for this was to just keep getting those people on the phone and learn and learn and learn. What I was saying was Adam would come off the phone more excited by not selling somebody than actually selling somebody, because he learned. And when it's great to make a sale, I know it sounds a bit silly, but when you make a sale, you have the endorphins. It's like, yay! Well, that's a false sense of security. When Adam's come off the phone and he learned that an objection, he's like, oh my God. He knew the leverage of that. He knew if we could just take this and explain it in a automated presentation, the leverage of that will make us 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 sales. So when he's done 90 phone calls, and now he's gone, Alex, I literally have what we need to say, and we go and we just go soundboard back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Then we created this, and we brought Mike in for a few days, and then Mike soundboarded and listened to us and said, no, you should say this. And we had a mastermind, and Mike went away, and me and Adam spent another 2-3 weeks on this. Now we have this. Now we'll never be here ever again. We're on the green now. We are literally on the green for good. Now every other piece that I build will just come from this. I'm on the green now.
And here's the thing, with your question about the follow-up and what you do with them after, essentially I'm trying to get to this piece being as leveraged as possible, which is the power content. So I'm on the phone figuring out what piece to put into the new traffic. And when we make that piece, by the way, which is driven, like Alex said, sales drives the marketing, we will then email that new piece to the list. So we reactivate them again. Because rather than spend time chasing the list and spending all your time trying to overcome everything you missed, I'm looking at the bigger picture and focusing my energy on having that scalable one piece initially. Put my time in there.
So we had a few thousand leads. Yeah, we had a few thousand leads. Do we keep emailing them and try and we didn't, do we try and mess them? No, we try and build the piece. And once this was built, I send an email, boom. Send an email, boom. And all I'm doing is sending those leads every day. Like today, Victor sent an email out today to our leads. And we will have applications come from them. So, we needed this piece because now on the green, huh? Yeah. So now we're on the green. It's a nice place to be again. And until now, we haven't, until the last 16 days, we haven't really been on the green. We've known how to get there, but it actually takes time, We got clients to look after. We're already selling. We're already got this other piece. We're already tuning the marketing in for it. There's a lot going on. But then in September, we made the decision to pretty much do no business and just do this. So we made that. So when Adam said we made a gamble, was let's just go for not only screw business, look after our clients, but not even try and bring in any, applications. Let's not try and drive leads. Was let's work on this, but let's try and work on this to be a home run. So we went for a double whammy, no money, lose money, because lifestyle is expensive out here. California is an expensive place to live.
So yeah, just note that we were in a fortunate position to be able to do that. So don't just put all your eggs in one basket like we did. It's kind of like, don't do exactly what we did. Be a lot quicker than we were.
Yeah.
And obviously we made this masterpiece with it, which is working incredibly well. But really, don't try and make this piece for your first few times. It's only because we had the confidence of years and years of marketing and really understanding what we were doing, we could take that gamble, and we're financially secure. So if this bombed, it didn't matter.
But we still put ourselves in a position of pain. We made sure that we couldn't kick back. It was still very much like, oh my God, we got to rush, because we created a false sense of urgency. Otherwise, we'd just be sipping IPAs down Pacific Beach and chilling.
Your first bit of power content, really, it shouldn't actually be an automated webinar if you've never done this before. Okay? It's too many moving parts, too much to learn. You should literally just create a video, and I'm going to pass the microphone to somebody who's going to tell you it. Isn't that right, Michael? Who's going to talk about this process and talk about... Yeah, go ahead.
So I have a buddy of mine who basically I taught him that conversion golf ball concept around a year and a half ago, and he basically was doing 100,000 a month at the time, and he took it to a whole nother level. He's a genius in his own right. Last month he did 2.4 million in contracts, 1.4 in cash, and his business is job killing. So this is basically, and he's now also implemented it in 2 other businesses.
This is his funnel.
Both of them do. So basically what he does is it's very simple, but what you can do is you can have them apply and be out here, and then once they apply, you can force them to consume content before the call to move it, so it's an easier sales call. So what I would recommend, what he does is. And it's not even that. One of his is simply like you could do the sandwich campaign, right? So you get the app, and then once you have the app, then you have a process where you basically force them to go to the shock and awe page, force them to watch basically a video, which is like what he does, which is genius, is it's the top 10 FAQ video. So I was basically explaining to him what Dan Kennedy does. So I worked for Dr. Tom Orant, and we would sell $60,000 coaching programs to dentists. So when I was working with Tom, when they would apply for the 60K program, we would send out a big box, basically a treasure chest, right? It was literally a treasure chest that would show up at their doorstep. And when you opened up the treasure chest, there was like a presentation of Tom, there was a testimonial book, there was like a keychain, there was a questionnaire to fill out, there was just articles of him in the newspaper, articles of him featured in the Boston Globe, awards of him, and then one of his things was also like the top 10 FAQs of his coaching program called Gems Gold Dozen. So it's big, a whole drawn out thing, right? So I was explaining this to Dan, and Dan actually just made it very simple and put the shock and awe box online. So long story short, make a top 10 FAQ video, and in that video, handle the common objections you're going to get, and handle what questions they would have on the phone call, right? So in that top 10 FAQ, you could literally, like the way Dan did it, and the way Dan's done it with his other 3 businesses that he's all implemented, they all do over 100K a month, is literally just film himself in front of a pool with an iPhone, and it's like, hey, how's it going? So we get the most out of our time on this call. Here's what, watch this video first so that we could, not waste our time on the phone call, right? So it's watch this video so we get the most out of our time on the call. Here's the questions we get over and over again. So like, what is it that you're selling?
Oh, the e-commerce and e-commerce life program.
Okay, so. Okay, so like, what are the common questions people would have with e-com? Like,
how many hours does it take?
Yeah, exactly. So exactly, how quickly will I be able to make money? I don't know. It's different for everyone. Like everyone asks that, right? It's like, our best student got it in 7 weeks. You know, it might take you up to a couple years. How much does the program cost? Well, we don't publish our prices online or in any videos because we're always constantly, you know, raising the price as the, you know, success stories come in. But we do offer a scholarship, and we'll explain all of that on the phone call. Any sort of whatever objection, just do a quick video, top 10 FAQs, and then here's the great thing: if they don't watch it, right? What Dan has his sales guys do is they call and it's like, hey, did you watch the videos? You know, did you check out the stuff on that shock and awe video? And it's like, oh no, you didn't watch it? Cool. It's a 12-minute video, just so that it's presented in the best way possible. I want you to go to this website, watch that video real quick. I'm going to call you back in 15 minutes. And like now you're not spending loads of time on the phone call with people that just aren't a right fit or don't know what they're doing or whatever. So that's basically, so that's one strategy. The other strategy is also have an incubator group, which is what he does, which is basically once they apply for a phone call, should I give them the incubator?
Yeah. Only another 10. That's in our 100K program, which you'll be hearing about shortly.
So like, there's lots of different things you could do once people apply. So once they apply, always force them back to the shock and awe page, right? Make sure to have the case studies on there. Make sure to have the that top 10 FAQ. You could also have simple demonstration videos, right? The more education you could give to them before they get on that phone call, the better. And it doesn't all have to be in one webinar. You can just drip feed them videos. So what Dan does, very like innovative strategy, does it with all three of his programs, is he enrolls them into what he calls an incubator Facebook group. So the minute you apply for a phone call, you go into an incubator group, and it's framed as this. You know, here's, you know, you applied for this call. It's in 2 days' time. What I'm going to do now is we're going to start training you on this process for free beforehand, so you sort of test us out. You put them into an incubator group, which is a private Facebook group for everyone who's applied. They go in that group, and inside of that group, what you do is on a daily basis or whatever, you do Facebook Lives and you do training, and then you throw those in there. So when anyone applies for the phone call, there's all this content inside of that group that they could then do their own research through and start to go through. And if you have sales guys, what you could do is you could ask them for the objections, right? And then you yourself hop into that Facebook Live group, and then you teach over the objections. And that's the incubator strategy.
So, well done, Mike. What I'm going to say here quickly is we're going to wrap up now. Obviously, it's behind time. We've got to be out of this room. So I'd like to start with Marquel here. Everybody, just a quick sentence or two, what your takeaway, your main takeaways from today. Just, you know, quick 10, 20 seconds, main takeaway, just pass the microphone around.
My biggest takeaway is really just getting clear on who I'm serving and how I'm going to structure my business going forward. So
very nice.
That was huge for me.
Very good. I like that.
Big takeaway today is solidifying my offer.
Nice.
Big takeaway for me is just refining my hook ads, and I've already got them in my mind. I've been writing them down, and I'm just ready to get them out there and start bringing in more apps.
Yeah, takeaway for me is just focusing on more content that is, again, around the sales conversation and just driving velocity on the front end.
Love it.
Yeah. My big takeaway is just keep testing ads, keep testing content, testing, until you have that perfect.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Very nice.
I just basically rewrote my webinar as you guys were talking, so.
Very nice.
And I'm going to follow Tammy's advice to do whatever I need to do to close more sales.
Love it.
For me, it's having clarity on how the funnel works, on how the bigger picture operates.
Nice, yep.
Yeah, for me is implementing the shock and awe page so that I have no resistance when I close my first $100,000 client.
Yeah, for me it was twofold. One was the scalability. I'm doing 3 webinars a week right now, and now if I can automate it, I mean that's game changer right there. And then the shock and awe page to hit all of those objections up front before you actually get them. That's huge.
Lovely. Very nice.
I loved the idea of the hooks that comes from the webinar, and then we can structure multiple squeeze pages and Facebook ads. That's really genius.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, just clarity around the entire funnel process. That was huge. The shock and awe page and what Mike just mentioned on the Facebook group that came from Dan.
Yep.
Nice. Golden.
My takeaway is not to wait until it's perfect, just test and tweak. Prolific, not
Yes,
perfect.
It's a big takeaway.
So as I said this morning, I said to all of you, there's really two things that you should be taking away. We spoke from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. on a lot of great stuff. I'm sure you agree there's a lot of great stuff. But each of you just said one thing. And you could cross over, but like each of you, if you take that away, your business is going to have dramatic results. So congratulations on those one things. They should be the one thing you should focus on. So we will see you back here. Just keeping it with regards to timelines. 9 a.m. we're starting. I'd like everybody in the room 9 a.m. I don't care how many margaritas you have the night prior. 9 a.m. please be in the room to start. Otherwise, there's disruptions. We'll be going through tomorrow. We're going to be going through some exercises in the morning. So again, not too many margaritas. There's exercises. And we've got another jam-packed day tomorrow, just like today. So it's going to layer on top of it, okay?
So we go through the squeeze page tomorrow and come up with some hooks, some exercises. I want everyone to really create a squeeze page tomorrow with some new hooks based upon the 5 steps and obviously your piece. And we want to obviously have you to have a blueprint for your shock and awe page. So some of you are thinking, how can I have a shock and awe page? I haven't written a book. I haven't done a podcast. We'll come up with some ideas on that, especially with the 10 FAQ questions as well. We can get some clarity on that because obviously I want to make sure when you go back you can implement it. And obviously we'll be looking at as well that we mentioned this morning, which is perfect ads. So we'll be actually constructing some adverts, some hooks, some ideas as well. And we'll be working on those with you guys to make sure that it's dialed in and looking at the copy as well. So that's going to be tomorrow.
Cool. Very happy for you guys.
Nice.
Awesome. Enjoy the evening. Maybe we may see you. We may not. But if you're down at the bar, we may see you at the bar.
Cheers, guys.
Margaret,
Cheers.
Well done, everyone.